Which audio are you having trouble with?
Properties.
Which
And
audio
that's
are
the
you having
important
trouble
part,
with?
right?
And I should have me now. Okay. It goes to default for your audio sources for some
Uh-huh.
reason. And I don't want default. All right.
Does Bjergsen play Lucian?
I'm sure he does.
I just wonder if like the Lucian pick is a triple flex or not.
This Volibear champion theme goes pretty hard.
I'm not Trevorted.
Oh, there's like words.
They're on it. Oh. It's supposed to actually be impossible to lose a smite fight as Evelyn if you have flash, but apparently for TSM it's very possible.
Why would flash matter?
So you can get over the wall,
Oh.
like on Baron.
Oh, they were
But
gonna start
between-
without us. What?
Were they?
Look at them. They're all in here. We just now got
They
the
were
invites?
definitely waiting for us. They were waiting.
What goons?
Oh yeah, no. What the? Spica just did not play that well. Like you don't try and E it. Like WR Smite is like 1700 damage. Like it's actually impossible to lose that Smite fight if he just uses the ult for it. He got greedy with ult and then had to use it to get out of the pit anyway.
This Volibear theme really does go hard, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I should, like, announce this places. My god, I'm off my game today.
You're still learning about it.
Yeah.
POV, you're getting ganked by the enemy jungler. Peek up. Isn't losing team how LCS does it?
I thought so.
Yeah, it is. That's okay. Niski just perma has Evelyn ult.
As the crows make night of the fading sun, hide now, hide now.
Oh, double lift.
Oh, now we got the Fiddlesticks themes. It's unlosable. I got it.
Actually,
I got it winged. I'm paying attention to things. All right.
oh my god, that recon engage. Holy shit.
We're getting the live play-by-play on the C9 TSM game for my game.
Oh yeah. I have that on my other screen. 5v3, it might actually be winnable. Holy shit, dude! I thought we were gonna lose.
I
this
thought I'd
game.
put it up on my phone just so I could like keep an eye on it, and then now there's
Uh-huh.
just 6 ads before I can watch the game. So
Really? 6?
Yeah.
Jesus.
thank you, mobile Twitch.
Twitch actually has the worst mobile app. Even when I'm on good internet, like it buffers constantly.
I
really
realized they're
hate it.
probably. Oh shit. Okay, we're good. Let me go ahead and hit things that I had prepared. All right. First off, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first ever ROTM Fight Night. Tonight, in a heavyweight best of 5, we have our 2 contenders vying for a prize pool of $75 and a chance to defend their title. In the blue side corner, we have the challengers, hailing from the 515 of Des Moines, Iowa, the 2-time Prophecy Cup champions and current Prophecy Cup finalists. They're brilliant, organized, and inspirational, but above all, they're successful. They are the SADBOIS. And in the red side corner, the current de facto title holders from KCMO, the 3-time GRLCS champions and owners of the greatest shitpost and most prolific organization in GRLCS history. They're ready to caw on asses. Are you ready to experience a deep suck? Well, prepare yourselves for Return of the Middle Sticks.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready.
That was amazing.
All right, we're into picking bands for game number 1. You're going to hear not a song. Okay, there we go. Let's talk about what's happened so far in pick and band then. I said I was going to introduce you to start this. I had everything prepared and then nothing prepared all at once. So, my name's Meristematic, and my co-caster today is Aikato for this best of 5. There's 6 bands that have happened in 2 picks. We have Ash and Senna being hand-shaken, and the Nunu locked in for liposuction lane. How do you feel about the pick and band so far?
Interesting that we're seeing the Lilia ban already, so that means I assume SADBOIS has played it. I haven't seen it, but I was watching their games last night, but I didn't see a Lilia. But already, I'm just a little bit scared of that pick. But Ash Senna, pretty normal. Nunu is sort of a tank jungler that's flying under the radar, but I do know that lane plays quite a bit of it, so not a bad pick for him.
Yeah, and then the set locked in for last Spartan Man, going to give him a lot of control over the early game, a little bit of ability to make some of those ganks, and then the Shen probably headed up to Cardinals 29. I'm sure that Firelight can play it in the bottom lane, so it could still be that flex. And the Riven for Tendies 2.
Never before seen. Riven, I mean, I don't know about the Riven Shen matchup. I assume that, given Tendi's pass against Card, he's pretty confident in the matchup, but pretty interesting to see that A, it wasn't banned, and B, I think it's pretty good of ROTM to pick it here before the second ban phase, just sneak it in.
Yeah, worth noting is that SADBOIS did have side selection here in game number 1. They opted for blue side, which kind of pushed them into that that Caitlyn ban, because presumably Karasuda doesn't play it, but you have to take it away from Prodigium. So then you're left with 2 bans against Tendies, and they opted for the Jax and the Irelia rather than the Riven or the Camille.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of the issue with Tendies, is no matter what you ban against him, he always has another champion. So, even if you had given him the 3 bans, you still are looking at something like a Camille that can take over the game. So, you just sort of have to pick your poison when against him.
Yeah,
That's it. Blitzcrank ban is interesting.
Yeah, the Blitzcrank against Firelight. It's a champion we've seen him play and have pretty big success on, but it's something that Maximus also is willing to throw down on, and the Taric as well. So just pinching those support pools a little bit.
Yeah, and Tom Kench makes a lot of sense here, or like a Morgana. You know, those are the standard counters to Ashe. You know, that way your Senna doesn't have to take cleanse. But, you know, a few hovers, we'll see what they decide on. Looks like it might be the Frog there in the bottom lane.
Yeah, unbenching the Kench, and that'll leave, you know, your choice. You could still flex that Shen to bottom lane for Firelight. That's not like completely out of left field. I don't think we'll see it, but now you need to show your mid and whatever your last pick is if you're SADBOIS.
Yeah, we'll see what they decide to go with. The mid is a blind pick, so let's see.
And it's
Pike.
the Pike for DT. I guess that's not necessarily for DTS. That still could go either way.
I'd assume that's support, but I'm not sure that Pike is necessarily a good matchup into Tom Kench Senna.
I was under the assumption that DTS was the Pike. I might be thinking of somebody else, but
Oh, yeah, I mean, it definitely could be Pike mid. I mean, that doesn't seem too crazy, though blinding it does seem crazy. And with the Victor locked in, that's sort of makes it seem like Pike's probably going bot lane.
yeah, for sure. The good thing about Pike is that he can ignore a lot of those shields. So the Tom Kench and Riven shields, even the Nunu shield, don't matter as much to him. He can dive in and negate some of the ability of those champions to stay safe.
True, that is an interesting matchup tip, is that Tom Kench is going to have to be a bit more liberal with the use of his shield, and a Galio in the mid lane selected against the Victor. Which oftentimes against Victor you would expect more of a long-range champion. This time Cupperdang opting for Galio, which if he's able to get onto Victor, will be very effective. But we'll see. Have to keep an eye on that matchup.
Yeah, I think it's weird. They don't have... Like, you have the Nunu to combo with the Galio, but that's not, like, the easiest combo to pull off. So it's going to be a lot of Galio and Riven working together, and probably trying to unlock that Riven from top lane. And this could be interesting. We could just see the set top lane in the Shen jungle. That's another possibility that we hadn't really discussed in terms of flexibility for SADBOIS.
True. Shen jungle technically can clear the jungle. You know, it's not the worst pick in the world. But looks like they might just end up sticking at top lane.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Galio is probably going to act, you know, sort of like a discount Twisted Fate, trying to unlock Riven in the side lane. I wouldn't be surprised if we see several ults going up there. Yeah.
So yeah, $75 again on the line for both of these teams in a big best of 5. It's a good setup, a good tune-up for SADBOIS in their Prophecy Cup final, and kind of a sad so long to ROTM as they're done with their Prophecy Cup season, and we've opted to kind of shift the rosters around for Diamond. But still, when these two teams met in the regular season, it was a 2-1 for ROTM. Some really close games that we got to cast, and despite that, was able to catch up with both of the captains before the game, both Firelight and Liposuction Lane. Firelight is confident as hell, right? In this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, no, I think that, sorry, go ahead. I'm pulling something out.
Okay. They're fresh off of their semifinal win last night. And I asked him just about how their confidence level was as a team coming in, both to that game and the Lost in Chalupa semifinal yesterday. And they said they just trashed Lost in Chalupa during the regular season, which is the team that just beat ROTM in the playoffs. And that they're very confident that they can take the championship of Prophecy Cup.
It's difficult to argue with that when, you know, ROTM has been knocked out. You know, last night, you know, they just beat the team that knocked ROTM out. It's sort of definitely a confidence booster for them that, you know, they were able to, you know, process of I don't know which geometric property that is, transitive property. You know, if they can beat them, then, you know, that means they should be able to beat ROTM, right?
Yeah, I just think that that's a interesting given the 2-1 that happened during the regular season. But Firelight feels like their team's leveled up a lot since then, and specifically had some shots to throw toward the bot lane of Prodigium and Maximus. Said that they're terribly overrated, and that Max frequently underperforms except for a couple of Rakan games. And was referencing some of the better matchups that they had in the 2v2 during the regular season when they played.
Yeah, which definitely very confident there. Shit talking the enemy bot lane. We'll have to keep an eye on it, see if Prodigium and Maximus are able to sort of step up to that, and perform a little bit better than SADBOIS might be expecting.
Yeah, and in talking to Lane, he wasn't as confident. He really towed the line on some of the political, talks and jargon, but he did mention that Maximus hasn't been able to get the most practice in due to his schedule. But now that he started school back up, able to get back into fighting form, thinks that they'll be able to turn it around on Firelight and Karasuda.
Yep, we'll definitely be able to see, especially since Firelight did specifically point out that Maximus hadn't been performing as well. With a bit more time, being able to play a bit more, we'll see if he's able to, perform a little bit better than expected, I suppose.
Yeah, so we're loading up. I'm just using this as an excuse to change the scoreboard that I haven't updated yet. So give me just a second while we do that before we flip over. Asked both captains for their predictions going into this game, and normally you'd expect your captain to go ahead and talk your team up, get a lot of confidence going in. Firelight predicted the 3-1 for SADBOIS. Lane also predicted the 3-1 for SADBOIS. So I guess we're looking at a 3-1 for SADBOIS. I guess there's no reason to really play this out, but here we are anyway.
It seems like it's a lack of confidence there from Lane. So, it could be really important for ROTM to sort of secure one of these first couple of games to sort of build up their confidence. If Lane isn't super confident in the matchup, then, perhaps a good showing here might be able to boost that up a little bit and give him a better shot at pulling it out.
Yeah, and while we load in, I did want to thank all of you personally for joining us on this channel. We hit over 50 followers on the channel, which means that we're eligible for affiliate as soon as we hit our streaming numbers. So over the next couple of weeks, you're going to see us step up the stream schedule just a little bit, get some more content going. And then after that, the sky's the limit, and we'll be doing some really cool things here on the channel. So welcome in to game number 1 of the first ever ROTM Fight Night. On the blue side of the rift, wearing the blue health bars for game number 1 will be the SADBOIS, and on the top side of the rift, wearing the red health bars, will be Return of the Middlesticks. I'm pretty excited for this. I really enjoyed the regular season series that we got to cast between these two teams, and hopefully this lives up to it.
Yeah, if memory serves, a lot of those games were sort of swayed by this top lane matchup between Cardinals and Tendies 2, as oftentimes ROTM games are decided by that. So we'll see how much of an impact or how much pressure each team is willing to put up there. Is already SADBOIS looking grouped up here at level 1, looking for the invade.
Yeah, SADBOIS watched that LPL final. They're ready to go on this level 1, looking to execute. Hook doesn't quite connect there from Firelight, but they'll get some deep vision. Just going to be the counter vision as lane retreats.
Yep, able to see, exactly where the Nunu starts, which, especially if you are expecting lane on this Nunu to try and pressure the top lane early, figuring out exactly where he starts will give you sort of timers on when you need to be looking out for him, when you need to look for wards.
Yeah, Maximus might be in a little bit of trouble. Hook going to land on him, pull him back in, gets slowed by Karasuda. The approach velocity on Ashe helping him catch up some move speed for DTS. They're starting to run him down the flash over the thick part of the wall. Might get him out to safety, but Cockman goes in. He finds first blood. They'll pull Prodigium back in. The late kind of push in on this top side has paid off for SADBOIS with first blood, and they might find liposuction lane as well. He's holding on to his flash, hopefully not too long. He's got the little speed boost though to get him out to safety, but first blood for SADBOIS.
And that's two different ROTM members, Liposuction Lane and Maximus, who just held on to their flash for so long, just completely underestimating the chasing power that Ashe has even at level 1, and ended up paying for it with an early kill, and already the bot lane of SADBOIS is off to a lead. We'll see if that ends up affecting their their early back timings. That said, last Spartan man already in this mid lane. I saw a flash.
Yeah, a lot of damage coming down onto Cupper Dang. Tendies and Cardinals not exactly paying the most respect to each other in that top side.
No.
As another
Latest
laser
to
comes
level
in.
1. Lane is still level 1 on the Nunu, and last Spartan man. One of the things about this set pick.
Oh, they pull
as we see-
Prodigium in. He's really low. He has no summoner spells. Tries to heal, but it's not going to be enough. A 2v2 kill for Firelight and Cockman Suda. Maximus trying to trade this back, but he's still only level 1. The Tongue Lash doesn't connect. It's a double kill for Ashe. He's 3-0. And already, it kind of feels like go next, honestly, for RTM. We'll see if Tendies can turn this around, but Firelight and Cockman Suda in the bottom lane.
Yeah, already just so strong. I mean, Ashe is going to recall here, can pick up the BF sword. Just it's a disaster for the bottom lane here for RTM. If we were expecting that to be one of the lanes we have to keep an eye on, it's already been impacted as Firelight.
Yeah, Firelight roams mid. He's going to find another kill. They're on fire, 4-0 for the SADBOIS.
Yeah, support diff already. Firelight just popping off, 100% KP. He isn't even recalling. He's going up, checking out, seeing what his jungler's doing. Finally now, I gotta start that recall. But yeah, Ashe opted not to go with the BF sword instead. A little bit of sustain in lane, dagger for attack speed. So still extremely strong recall here. And if you're a SADBOIS fan, this is exactly what you want to be seeing.
Yeah, when Prodigium and Maximus died in the 2v2, he went back. It was 12 CS to 0 and the 3 kills on Ashe. It's already 1,000 gold lead in the bottom lane, and that, probably won't get better. They still just have no summoner spells.
And just a quick checkup on Liposuction Lane on the Nunu is just now going to be completing his 3rd camp. He's barely going to hit level 3 by, 4.5 minutes? He's, after the level 1 fiasco, it's been not good for him. Is Copperdang able to find the flash of DTS? We'll see if they're able to take advantage of that, especially against a Galio. It's scary not to have your flash up. Once Galio lands one ability on you, he's going to keep you locked up for a while.
Yeah, I do worry about just that 2v2 with Lane and Galio. We're going to watch Maximus probably die again, though. That's another hook hit by Firelight. They're turning it back around decently, though. Prodigium getting in some of those auto attacks. Going to pull a soul? Not quite. But, yeah, I still don't think you win that mid-jungle 2v2 or have enough damage to kill off Victor during the time. As Firelight, I think he just can't miss. Right, Maximus uses that shield. It's not quite going to be enough as the volley takes him down and he's able to get out to safety. 5 kills for SADBOIS, all set up by Firelight.
And 4 of them going exactly where you want them on this Ashe. Cockman Suda just known for being a monster on this Ashe. Once you give it to him, if you're also giving him kills, he's just going to be so impactful this game. It's sort of insane already looking at it. 1,400 gold lead there in the bottom lane alone. God, it's just it's a disaster down there. Firelight getting caught up underneath the turret, but I don't think they have enough damage to really do too much to him.
Yeah, they're going to find Cardinals maybe in the top lane, the taunt away into the flash, and it's at least a positive play. You can see those dominoes start to fall for Tendies, potentially, now that the flash is down for Cardinals.
Yeah, and that definitely sets Tendies up to potentially bully this lane just a little bit. Already has the Caulfields. We'll see if he ends up going for the Garage Sale CDR build or perhaps just rushing a Death Stance. I'm not sure what the meta is on Riven nowadays, but...
Yeah, last Spartan Man going to Hex Flash in, not find Copperdang though.
I was going to touch on it several minutes ago. One of the cool things about Set Jungle, since you take Hex Flash, is that you want to trade your Flash extremely early for a laner's Flash, so then you can continue to use this Hex Flash.
Yeah, now last Spartan Man is here in the bottom lane, going to get the pull in onto Maximus. They're not going to get too much punish down, but DTS is roamed down. Copperdang has the heroic entrance, could join the bottom fray if he needed to. Nunu is just going to clear his topside jungle out and think that he still has jungle camps available to him. But it looks like it'll be the early dragon for last Spartan Man.
Yeah, which early dragons are always good. You know, looking to stack that up early, see how early you can end up start pressuring for a soul. Is I don't think I've ever seen a Nunu get this low in the jungle. This is going to be his first recall, so I assume he's sitting on a little bit of gold.
Yeah, Cupperdang just going to avoid. There's been a lot of pressure being applied to him here in the mid lane. Firelight's taken a trip to mid lane twice. We've seen last Spartan Man in 2 or 3 times. A lot of focus being played to him, and it's only about a 10 CS disadvantage. Has that one kill as well onto Firelight. It's not terrible. Like, Cupperdang's playing it out about as well as you could hope for.
Especially into a melee into range matchup where you're sort of expected to fall behind a little bit. As we see,
the Devour?
Flash forward.
Yeah, he doesn't have the E either. Gonna ignite, and Prodigium will take him down. A kill in the bottom lane in the 2v2. Tendies pops the ultimate, trying to turn this back onto Cardinals. He gets the shield. One more auto's gonna do it! And Tendies too with the solo kill in the top lane.
Perfect, picking up that kill, and you know, especially after the bottom lane somehow so far behind, able to pick up that kill in the 2v2, and ROTM turning around a little bit. It's not quite over yet.
Yep, just bringing that gold lead back to 1,000. Still the dragon down. SADBOIS still in a very good position, but maybe need to get back some of the momentum. This could be it, though, as Kakmansuda hits level 6. They're going to turn this back around with a Galio ult, and should be able to disengage here, although the flash forward into the taunt, it's a good stopwatch from Kakmansuda. As he gets slowed up, they're not going to have the damage to take him down. Firelight pulls a minion. That was a really awkward minion placement for him. I don't blame him for doing that. But yeah, Winds of War not going to quite do it. Liposuction lane's here for the counter gank. They get the Ashe ult in. Victor ult comes down as the Chaos Storm ticking down Prodigium. They'll pull back in Cupperdang and finish him off for the first kill. DTS looking for a big laser. He'll get snared up, but ROTM on the retreat. Forward for Firelight, but he's not able to execute. He'll pull back in Maximus, but it's not the kills that they were hoping for. They do get one for themselves in the bottom lane.
And the initial fight there was turned around by the Galio ult, but they stuck around a little bit too long. Victor was able to follow down, and with the Shen ult, SADBOIS able to turn it back around and pick up a kill onto the Galio.
Yeah, and last man Spartan soloed Rift Herald during that. Also very important to note.
Yeah, when you say 4-man bot, you would expect one of them to be the jungler, but not the case. As Nunu's
snare
coming
onto Kakmansuda. Tendies is here off of the teleport. They'll hand that kill over to him. They're going to drop the Rift Herald in mid, though, and this could be really dangerous. Get a lot of plates onto DTS, and this Victor could get super strong here before too long.
Victor can, and also Tendies. During that whole fight, Tendies was picking up plates in the top lane, ended up getting 3 of them, and then teleported bottom to pick up the 700 gold shutdown on Kakmansuda. He's going to be extremely strong. Already the finished Black Cleaver.
Firelight. Oh, that didn't hit the recall. Oh! Oh my god. My voice cracked. I went back to 4th grade there. My god. Prodigium and Maximus escape, and both the Ashe ult is down.
Wasn't even close, to be honest. Wasn't even close.
Not even.
Oh, wow. So, after all of that, gold lead still in favor of SADBOIS, 1.2 thousand gold. But interestingly enough, you know, Kakmansuda is 4-1-1, but he's no longer the richest man in this game. That is Tendies 2-0, 93 CS on this Riven. You know, has the finished cleaver, has the Caulfields. It's just so strong already on this Riven.
Yeah, and he's fresh off of a GRL CS game where he had 19 of his team's 25 kills on Riven. So, no stranger to the 1v9 lifestyle is Tendies 2.
Yeah. And the way he's playing this wave, it's so hard for Cardinals to be picking up any CS without sacrificing quite a bit of HP. He's gonna crash this. And we'll see. That said, Cardinals was able to pick up the Tabi, which is pretty effective. Oh no. Is Tendies gonna... Either he's looking for last Spartan Man, or he's gonna try and...
I think he's just looking for last Spartan Man.
It's looking for the ward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just an interesting path to take, as he says, "No, Cardinals, you actually can't fight me even underneath your turret.
Yeah.
I can just walk right past you."
Firelight and Last Spartan Man get some deep vision into that blue side quadrant on liposuction lane, take away all those jungle camps, and now this is a very sad Nunu who's about to be a very dead Nunu. It's a good flash, though. Oh, but he gets hit by the Ash Arrow from downtown. The smite into the slow. They don't quite get that execution, but Last Spartan Man does finish him off. Now Cupper Dang in trouble as Victor's rotated down. They'll pull him back in. Maximus uses the Abyssal Voyage to try to join, but he doesn't go over the wall to help him out, and Cupper Dang left out to dry there as he'll fall to DTS, and that'll be the second dragon going to SADBOIS.
That was kind of a cool interaction there by Last Spartan Man, as he used to ult to end up canceling the Galio E. Very well played there, as the Nunu was a little, ended up flashing out of the hook, felt good about himself, and then instantly eats an enchanted crystal arrow. Just sad boy there, as he's down almost 30 CS already in this jungle role.
Maximus is looking for this ward and immediately gets surrounded by 3 members of SADBOIS. They'll punch him down, they'll take him down. Last Spartan Man picks up his second kill of the game.
And Firelight has just been absolutely everywhere, just setting up his entire team for success. Constantly mid, constantly in the jungle, and when he's bottom, he's making plays. Already has 100% kill participation in all 9 of SADBOIS' kills.
Yeah, and now seeing the jungler on that bottom side, Tendies is going to go ahead and cut that wave like you were saying earlier.
Yeah. It's applying a bit of pressure there. That's at half HP.
Oh no, Prodigium gets hooked back in, forced to flash away. And it's hard to be without that summoner spell. They'll pull Liposuction Lane back in. They're still looking for this. Taunt from Cupper Dang, going to buy some distance. He'll Justice Punch away. They really can't help out this bottom lane, though. That's also under fire. They will finally get Last Spartan Man and DTS to turn around, though.
Yeah, just trying to secure any amount of jungle here for the Nunu, who just has not had a good time. Oh no, everyone's collapsing now.
Here comes Firelight. They have to give up the Gromp. Oh, it's still healthy.
Oh, wow.
I think he got it. He's going to die to Chaos Storm. Tendies takes the first turret of the game in the top lane. This is just a mess, though. Is Cupper Dang able to join? He'll get suplexed back in. Firelight gets saved by Cardinals. He'll get taunted back up. Dang couldn't find the kill, and Firelight turns it back around with the death from below. Maximus and Prodigium clinging to their tower for help, but there's no help coming. Tendies doesn't have teleport up, and he'll fall to Cockman Suda, and the death from below from Firelight will pick up Maximus.
Just so well played there by SADBOIS, as again they're sending 5 people into that bottom lane, just applying so much pressure. And even if Riven on the other side of the map is able to pick up the first turret, isn't able to do much more, isn't able to help out, and SADBOIS just taking full advantage now over a 4,000 gold lead. Just so well played by them already, and how much pressure they've been able to apply in this game.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Which team has all the globals? It's ROTM. Which team is making all of the plays on the map? It's SADBOIS. It's insane. They're playing so well this game. Now Tendies and Cardinals going to swap back to the bottom lane, and Tendies will go to work on his second turret down here. Taunt not going to catch. Oh, it is in tower range. That's a good trade for Cardinals. He's doing pretty well in these trades.
Even so,
DTS though might be a little bit caught, but he's able to flash the wall just in time. Not quite enough crowd control. Tendies! The broken wing's not quite enough, but the flash forward for the auto, he picks up the solo kill, and Cardinals bites off just a little more than he can chew in that matchup.
I was gonna say that he has the finished Death's Dance, so he can just sustain up off the next wave. Tendies showing me wrong. He doesn't need to sustain up. He can just dive Cardinals straight up, and 100 to 0s him underneath the turret. So strong in this matchup. We'll see if it's enough to carry ROTM, which is, just sort of a burning building everywhere else.
Going for the solo kill on Prodigium. He'll find it. Last Spartan Man and Firelight just kind of swing by to say hello after the solo kill. Karasuda's running that lane.
Yeah, Prodigium, how dare you think that you're allowed to farm anywhere? Even if it is top lane, it's the same story.
Oh no, the stun lands onto Cupper Dang off of that gravity well. Maximus is there to eat up his mid laner, but look at the damage up in the top lane now. As they take down one tower, they'll take down the second with the Rift Herald. There is no one even close to respond for ROTM.
And they're going to pressure the inhibitor turret here. That Shelly definitely still has another shot in her. Everyone recalled. There's
Oh,
a
a
TP coming
teleport
in
behind
behind.
him from Tendies. It gets marked on the map, though. They're looking for it. Where? How much can ROTM find? They'll get the slow onto last Spartan Man. Knockup comes down onto Karasuda. He'll get suplexed out as Cupperdang tries to join. They will find the set. Can Tendies find more? He jumps over the wall into 4, gets the wind slash down onto DTS, but he'll get snared up. Firelight, they're trying to find anything they can find. The Winds of War do pick one up. Now Cardinals is in trouble on the top side. Firelight getting chased down. This might be the turn for ROTM. Taunt lands, they have the damage as Cupperdang takes him down. Tendies is still looking for Cardinals. More dashes available to him. Knockup
Still
lands.
on the chase, gonna end up picking up the kill on the Cardinals.
Where did Nunu
what-
come from?
I think he ended up Tokyo drifting around as he was looking for someone else, but that's an ace coming in for ROTM after being so far behind. Just such a great teleport flank from Tendies into the Galio ult, and Tendies is just so strong right now. If SADBOIS doesn't have their CC up, doesn't have everyone together, it's going to be so insanely difficult to deal with him. And this is a dragon going over in favor of ROTM, delaying that sole point that SADBOIS had been working on.
Or is it? Last Spartan Man's in! Oh, it's a 50-50, but Cupperdang secures it. Last Spartan Man in a little bit of trouble, but so's Cupperdang. Can he find the last couple of things? No, Maximus eats him up to safety, and Last Spartan Man should fall at the end of this as Lane takes that kill. Tendies is 1v4ing on the
1v4.
backside. There's enough CC here. He jumps onto Karasuda. Does he have the wind slash? He doesn't have it. He's dashing out, trying to get out to safety. Maximus goes into body block. Tendies is out.
In a 1v4, Tendies able to make it out alive. Oh my god. And in the battle of smites between two junglers, one of which is a Nunu, impossible to beat in a smite fight, it's Galio that ends up securing the first Ocean Drake for ROTM.
God, I love these teams, though. There's this part of me that wants to sit back and talk about wave management and talk about, important summoner spell. These two teams just want to fight the whole game, and I love it so much. 4 turrets now for SADBOIS, 3 for ROTM. They've brought the gold lead back to 800. This is... I asked Tendies a little bit about this. He had a game very similar during the regular season meeting where he hit his Death's Dance and then he won the game. This game, he hit his Death's Dance and then what was that team fight? He won the game? No, they haven't won it yet. They are still fighting back, though.
But compared to the 4K gold lead that they were facing down earlier, now in a much more manageable position.
DTS is forced to teleport out. He gets caught just a little bit out of position and smartly uses the teleport to run away from the collapse from RTM.
He felt Tendies coming. He did not want to be on the same side of the map as that Riven and ends up teleporting out. Okay, so...
We can catch our breath just a little bit for a second. Here comes the Ash Arrow, though, as we can't anymore. Firelight has the Shen ult on top of him. They're trying to track down Maximus. He has the flash away. The taunt doesn't land. They're going to get the Galio ult. They're trying to turn. Knockups onto Cardinals. Where's Tendies? He still hasn't joined. They can't finish anybody off just yet as Pyke takes one into the death from below. Karasuda trying to run away, but Tendies is now dominating. Liposuction Lane trying to track him down as Last Spartan Man forced to run away. DTS able to get the stun on the gravity well, but will it matter as DTS goes down to Cupperdang in the Winds of War, and ROTM turns that fight into a positive one? It's 2 for 1.
Yeah, it looks scary at the beginning, but ROTM, the rest of the team, they're just looking to burn cooldowns. As SADBOIS doesn't have enough CC or enough damage left to deal with Riven once she shows up. And ROTM able to pick up that tier 2 mid after the successful team fight, and for the first time this game, they have the gold lead.
Yeah, it's a 200 gold lead, but it is a gold lead nonetheless.
Considering they started out the game by giving over a couple kills before minions even spawned, any sort of a gold lead that they're able to accomplish or able to get here is good for them, as Tendies is continuing to build lethality, just going to be a monster here.
I do worry a little bit. In some of these fights, he's going to be riding the edge on that Death's Dance healing and on his ability to eke out every last bit of HP. But you still have Firelight to ultimately just... He can execute everybody on the team if they get low enough, right? And he's building more lethality. He's going to raise that execution window. And I'm really looking at the Pyke in these fights to to turn it back around for SADBOIS. It doesn't matter.
Oh
Tendies
my
just
God.
eliminates DTS from the map. Firelight can't do anything. He's forced to run away. Oh,
Attendees is just an absolute monster. He gets on top of the Victor for 1 second and instantly the Victor goes bye-bye. I would have said something about Tendies probably needing to pick up Merc Tread so he doesn't get CC'd to death or anything like that, but Tendies knows better. He's just picking up more lethality. That's all he needs right now. Getting extremely close to the Flame Horizon. Just what an absolute monster.
I was gonna say something and then I just heard the from the recall, and it threw me right out. I don't know anymore. Yeah,
Dragon coming up.
Dragon's coming up. There's still no Mirror Mana transform. How close are we? Let's see how many stacks he's got. He's got 615 on his tier. He's got 58 souls. That's not terrible.
That's
the Mirror Mana
really
is
not
kind of
bad.
slow, but the stacks are fine.
Considering how the early game went for him and how late it was before he ended up completing the Mirror Mana,
Oh, he's looking for
you know.
DTS though. Tendies, not gonna find. Oh, he's gonna find him maybe. Well, in the bot lane is what we're watching. Cupperdang trying to find that 1v2. He'll get the taunt in onto Last Man Spartan, and Tendies is here. He'll get suplex back into the team. He's looking for more. They'll get the Galio ult on top of him. Get some stuns. They can't finish anybody off. It's a 4v2 or 4v5 even that the solo laners. Tendies finds one. He'll take down Firelight. He's starting to heal through. Can he find more healing? Can he find more shields? They do finally take him down as Cardinals gets the last hit. And now ROTM's forced to run. Senna's joining from the flank. That's a lot of damage coming down from him. Prodigium flies in. They'll trade 1-for-1 so far, but Last Spartan Man isn't going to live. DTS is trying to chase down Cupperdang. He's just got a little bit of health left. Cardinals is also alive. The bot lane from ROTM is going to try to track down. Can DTS live? The Oracle says no, but Maximus has to play this kind of carefully. They're still going to kite him out. DTS has the move speed. I actually don't know if he'll get out. There's the teleport. That's it's probably Cupperdang.
That's Cupperdang, yeah. Tendies is still dead, but
Yeah,
they're going to be able to
will
pick
mean
this
that'll be
skill
a
up here.
kill. Oh, he didn't need to flash for that though.
Okay. Just a little bit greedy for that, I suppose, but it's amazing for a fight that started out as a 2v5. Tendies and Cupperdang did so much work that by the time the rest of the team was finally able to show up, they were able to win out the rest of the fight. ROTM has stretched out their gold lead a little bit more. They're picking up the second Ocean Dragon of the game, continuing to deny that soul point over to SADBOIS. And ROTM is in a position where it seems like this might be winnable.
Yeah, 1,000 gold lead. The Baron is going to be the big tipping point in this game. We'll start seeing those teams set up Vision SADBOIS right now with that inside track on the Vision. They have it. I mean, that's pretty much, if you had to put 4 wards, like give me 4 wards on the dragon, or on the Baron. There they are. All right, cool. Tendies has found Cardinals. Good dash over the wall, though. Going to get him out of that 1v1.
Yeah, Cardinals was the one who ended up picking up the 1,000 gold shutdown onto Riven. And you see he's used it to build
Firelight's
a little bit
looking
more
for it.
HP.
He finds Maximus, gets the snare down. Do they have the damage? They will as the execute comes through. Firelight takes him to the depths. And now SADBOIS set up for this Baron. Tendies doesn't have teleport. He's sprinting. Takes the blast plant. I'm watching the mini-map. We can narrate through the mini-map. Where is Tendies? He gets spotted on some minions. They're forced to fall back as they're not killing it super fast. And for that pick, they're not going to get any real pressure or any real objective for.
Yeah, thankfully for ROTM, the fear of Tendies is enough to keep them from trying to finish up that Baron. And ROTM, Maximus has come back to life. He's still level 10, so death timer's still pretty short. And ROTM's going to be walking in, picking up a little bit of vision, but Firelight's on the way.
Firelight gets taunted in. He'll get knocked up. That's a good interaction. He's able to flash away. Prodigium not going to track him down with the Senna ultimate. Last Spartan Man pretty low, gets knocked up. Ooh. So's Lane, though. Cupperdang goes in, gets the taunt. Everybody just throwing abilities one after another. Prodigium's the first to fall, but they'll trade back for Last Spartan Man. Cupperdang gets eaten up by Maximus, and that'll save his life. 1-for-1 near the Baron, but it's the jungler for the 80 carry.
And Tendies is finally
Tendies.
here, looking for DTS. He gets
interrupted the tongue lash. He was on the ward the whole time. Dash forward. Can they actually finish the kill? They can, as Cupperdang slaps him down with the passive
That
auto.
might be the Baron for him. I think they can do it. Their only real DPS is Riven anyway, right? So she's here. You can start it.
This
We'll
is
see if
not going
SADBOIS is
super
able to
fast,
start
though.
it.
Yeah, Firelight, he's on his way. He's got the U-moves popping. He's got the W, the Ghost Water dive. They're going to give it up.
Again, just too scared of Riven. Tendies didn't end up using his ultimate in that last fight. He ended up showing up so late that, you know, if there were another fight to pop out, he would probably be the strongest person. Everyone else is on cooldown. And that's Baron over to ROTM.
Yeah, let's rewind about 25 minutes. It's 6-0 for SADBOIS. We are lamenting the fact that the game is over. It's now 19-19. Baron on the wings of the red team. Firelight still looking for more, though. Last Spartan Man going to try to punch him down. There's just not a whole lot of damage between these two characters, unfortunately, and they're forced to run away from that.
Yeah, not quite enough to beat through. The relatively beefy Galio, even if he is building full AP, still can be pretty tanky with that damage reduction on the W and a lot of CC.
They still are looking for
What?
this. I don't know that the blue buff is the big objective right now, but it is wasting some of this Baron buff. There's no pushing going on, really, other than in top lane. Last Spartan Man goes ahead and suplexes. That's a good face breaker, but do they have anything now? Firelight trying to get out of distance, but the Ignite from Maximus takes him down. Last Spartan Man slowed up by the absolute zero. More damage coming through. They will finish him off with the taunt from Galio. DTS in trouble as well, as he'll get Justice punched up. Somewhere off screen, Tendies has killed Ash, and Prodigium will finish off DTS. 4 kills for RTM.
For RTM. RTM, they can end the game, and that's the FF coming through. Wow, ROTM somehow, after that disastrous opening, able to pull it out in the end on the back of Tendies 2's Riven. He got the Dust Dance and he won the game. That's all it took. Wow.
Well, there'll be a Riven ban. I don't know what they're gonna let through, but I'm gonna guarantee the Riven ban for game number 2.
I would say that would be a reasonable
Yep.
assumption.
Let's check that damage chart. Oh my god, actually Victor, DTS trying to hard carry that game, but not able to find it, I guess. Yeah, DTS had a really good game in mid lane. The 3-6 scoreline doesn't do him justice. Firelight was everywhere in that early game, but they couldn't tip that snowball hard enough to shut down Tendies.
I mean, that game felt so much like Firelight diff for the first 15 minutes, where then it turned into Tendies diff. Tendies hit his items and just took over every single team fight. Just extremely well played by him, able to pick that up in the end. But, you know, RTM looking at game 2 probably still needs to not fall behind that far in the bottom lane. Even if you do have the chance of coin flipping Tendies into just hard carrying the game. Inting early that much probably just isn't super conducive to winning the game. Wow.
What is Tendies' real account? It's Godden Hentai.
Yeah. True.
Did you get an invite? I don't see you here.
I did not get one.
There you go.
No.
All right,
I'm
we're
the
going to
less
step aside
sportscaster.
for just a second and catch our breath here. Oh my god. I turn on
TS Tim's winning, by the way. Game 4.
Yeah, they're up 8-3. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, they pick Zillion.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
it's
pick
literally unlosable when you pick Zillion.
Yeah, they
Double as Senna. Who knew Double as Senna was...
and they have the Skarner against Sven. That's so BM.
Holy shit. Wait, that's the next level BM. Damn.
I think it's funny. I've never heard any of these champion themes because they're not in the client. You know, we've got set now. I didn't know they wrote champion themes for these champions. TBH.
Isn't there usually like a login? thing? Or
There
no?
isn't anymore. Now when you log in, it's just the default thing. You hit play.
Oh, to be honest with you, I pay zero attention. And when it was the champions, I had the sound turned off.
I had the animations
so-
on. I'd always notice that.
I definitely had animations on, but the sound, I have like all the sound turned off on my client. That's boomer me. All fucking video games today are just way too loud. Wow. Well, there's RotM's one win, right?
Yeah. So this will be the 3-0 now.
The reverse sweep. Is it a reverse sweep if you don't win 2 games first?
No, that's no.
What is that? Is that like
It's a
a
3-1.
half sweep? Is it a?
It's a 3-1.
But you won 3 in a row, right? Like that has to be something, right?
Nah.
Oh my god, Broken Blade is so massive. NH Ace, I guess. Holy shit. Oh my god. He missed his EQ and he still almost one-shot Niski.
And then he died.
Yeah, I mean, there were like 4 guys there, come on. He's doing his best, man. He killed the first person who came for him and got Spica out. I mean, that's...
Anyway,
I say it's pretty good.
Want some opinions? The new Crow GIF for the BRB screen.
Oh, there's a new one? Let me check. Aw, that's pretty good too. I like that one.
I've got another one for the thank you screen as well, but we have to get there.
Well, that's something for everyone to stay tuned in for.
Yeah, that's the real reason, honestly.
Yeah, that's half the reason I'm here is for the crow gifts.
I even updated the scoreboard before we got into game. Oh, smurfing.
Do we know what side they're on? Like, are we gonna
I'm
have
assuming that it's this. They're
to
running
whatever
it back.
side they're on?
Yeah.
Okay. As Wukong top, don't you normally go Borg?
You can go Bork or Trinity Force.
Oh.
Oh,
As we're getting the champ select.
they didn't give me the warning that I asked for. That's okay. Welcome back. Welcome back. Jesus Christ. All right, let's restart. Welcome back. Game number 2 between ROTM and the SADBOIS. In game number 1, we saw Tendy's diff. What will we see in game number 2 already? A Tendy's ban, followed by a Graves ban, and we'll see what change-ups we have. I'm imagining this third ban will be a Riven.
It was Caitlyn last game.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they're willing to let that through this time around and opt for a Riven ban instead.
Maybe
I
they
wonder
think
if
it wasn't a
Cardinals plays
problem.
Poppy.
Yeah.
They think Riven wasn't a I mean, that's certainly a possibility. Maybe, maybe. I wonder if he plays Poppy. Doesn't Poppy counter like half of Tendy's champ pool?
I would say the entirety of it, actually.
Maybe that's the big brain. Another Lilia ban, Bard as well. And after seeing how much impact Firelight had on Pyke, giving him, an even better roamer, I think that's a reasonable ban. As we see another Ashe first pick, never before seen. Cockbinsuit as Ashe. Was extremely good in the laning phase. Had a lot less impact as the game went on, unfortunately. And we're going to see Kate was left open. We'll see if Prodigium opts for the Senna anyway. Wow.
It was effective later on in the game. I'll give them that.
For sure. That's another shield for Tendies, right? So
Yeah. There was that fight. It started with the 2v5, but then Senna had that flank. Actually did a ton of damage during that fight. But yeah, so far we're running it back, actually. We're going to have to change something because that Riven's banned. But those are the same first 3 picks.
So
And
right here was Set and Shen, right?
Yeah. That's not
Evelyn.
Set.
Ooh.
I like that a
Evelyn
lot.
has been seeing a lot more play recently after some buffs. Even in pro play, Evelyn, notoriously a champion that has been seen as not super competitively viable, is strong enough to be picked in pro play. So, last Spartan Man picking it up, not too surprising there.
Yeah, I really
But-
like it considering the issue that we saw. Firelight and Last Spartan Man were finding some really good 2v2s and picks, but they weren't able to finish off those kills. Now you have that extra damage from Evelyn. Ooh, there's no way Evelyn's not finishing off a kill when it's available, right? If you're ahead.
Exactly. Oh, and that's the Akali. Is that a flex pick?
I don't know
assume
whose
that's a
Akali
flex.
that is. I'm assuming it's a flex pick, but I really don't know who's the Akali player. I've seen Cupperdang play it. I haven't seen Tendies play it, but it feels like he could be able to or should be able to.
Especially with other top laners, even in P Cup picking up the Akali, I wouldn't be surprised. It's really interesting here. Will SADBOIS continue to ban top laners, assuming that it's an Akali mid, or are we going to see them let a couple of Tendies champions through?
Or do we have the Tendies champion already on the table? Like, what do we think? We think that that's a Tendies Akali then, if we're banning Galio.
Akali doesn't seem like a great matchup into Wukong, does it?
No. Not at all.
In which case, does Tendies play Jace? I know he doesn't, but why doesn't he play Jace? That feels like a very Tendies champion.
I feel like that's more lane bully, not 1v9 enough on the Jace.
Oh, true.
Anyway, Orianna taken away as well from Cupperdang.
I imagine we'll see support here. Tom Kench, Morgana, Rakan.
I really do like his Rakan. And even Firelight shouted out his Rakan as the one champion he was good at, so... I don't mean to these guys are probably, like, decently good friends. I'm not trying to throw the flame in there.
Oh, it's Shaco.
What is this?
Is that Shaco? That's be Shaco
That's
support,
Shaco support,
right?
yeah.
And then Twisted Fate for DTS, going to be able to apply a bit more pressure in the side lanes.
Yeah, plus now you can see the Akali in the Shroud, I'm pretty sure. That
Oh,
feels like
true.
a decent
That's
counter.
the hard counter. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yone. That feels like a Tendies champion. Oh my god. Okay.
Where's any of this going? Yone
All right,
into
so
Wukong
I'll give
seems
you...
like a reasonable matchup, right?
Yeah, Cockmansuda's playing Ashe. I've got that one. All right.
Uh-huh.
What else?
I think we have SADBOIS comp down. They have the other Shaco support. That's the only question mark, but no one else could really be going support. The only worry is I feel like Shaco will have trouble applying as much pressure as Pyke was able to in the previous game, just because Shaco has really long cooldowns, isn't able to facilitate quite as much. But that said, Shaco's support, putting some traps in bushes, he's pretty good at that.
Yeah, for sure. And with Firelight, the way that they've been playing that game with the invades, with all the other pressure they're putting down, they could make Lane's life miserable in the jungle.
What if he takes Ignite Smite? How cool would that be? Is that too big brain, man?
I don't know. I don't know if you can get
And
away
then
with
he
that
just,
as support.
He
Anyway.
double jungles, pushes in, just tries to smite away Nunu's camps.
Yeah, it's Tendies
I mean-
Akali, by the way. That's finalized. I think I want to see Tendies and Dang swap, just based on the matchups, right?
I think that the champion matchup is probably better if Akali's going into Twisted Fate, at least in the laning phase. That said,
Maybe you just want that
Tendies-
player matchup, right?
just looking at like ranks, I think that if you're looking for Tendies to 1v9, you probably want to set up as much of a mismatch as possible. And Cardinals is the lowest ranked on the team, right? So that, I think it would make sense to sort of try and abuse that and keep Tendies in that matchup. I mean, realistically, with as significant a rank difference as there is, Cardinals does a great job in terms of facilitating his team, when he is consistently playing against people who are higher ranked than him. That said, you would assume that with this rank difference, and based on the past games that they've played against each other, that Tendies should be able to win most lanes. I don't think that the matchup matters that much.
Yeah, and as a as an olive branch to anybody who watching us rather than TSM versus C9. TSM just secured that series 3-1, so we'll see them at Worlds. That's pretty cool.
They picked the Zillion. It was literally unlosable. Wow. TSM beating out C9. Can you imagine C9 went undefeated in spring split, right? Or did they lose one game? I think they lost
They lost one game to TSM.
They did so extremely well in the spring split, won everything. They started out this split at 9-0. If you were to, rewind 2 months and tell anyone that Cloud9 doesn't make Worlds, how insane is that? Wow.
Hold on, I'm trying to secure viewership. Okay. There we go.
Are you saying hey for everyone who just finished that one?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I respect it.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this game though. As much as I love some Worlds talk, like this team comp, both of these team comps, honestly, a little bit more different than what we're used to in pretty much every role. Like other than Prodigium, Karasuda, and Lane, these are all kind of new or big pop-off champions. And these two teams like to throw down. We're going to see some fireworks, right?
Yeah, I think that the big one to watch is, of course, Yone. This new champion. We'll see how much time Cupperding has been able to put in to be comfortable on this champion. But once he gets ahead, it's another champion that's able to entirely take over games. So it's someone we'll definitely have to keep an eye on. He also notoriously sort of has the Yasuo effect, where it doesn't matter if he's 0-6. Once he hits his 2-item power spike, he still just does an absurd amount of damage. That you can never really sleep on him.
Ooh, Tendi's a man after my own heart. The teleport ignite on a Kali.
Holy shit! Is that a thing?
In Shaco with the exhaust ignite for Firelight. We got some people without flashes in this game. Yeah.
So, if there were ever incentive to camp Tendies 2 before this, trying to keep him down, by him not taking flash, that's just more incentive, right? Admittedly, Evelyn, not the best ganker in the early game, but if you're able to make it to that level 6, go invisible, I imagine we're going to see a lot of Last Spartan man chilling in Tendi's lane, trying to take advantage of that summoner difference.
Yeah, also helps that that's a squishy champion. There's 4 squishy champions for Evelyn to try to assassinate on the enemy team. I do like Karasuda. Not super successful on that last Ashe skin. We'll just flip it over. Let's go Heartseeker this game. I feel that.
It sort of has the synergy with Last Spartan, man. They both have the red rose aesthetic. I like that. I think the synergy there, it might have been what they were missing last game.
Yeah, DTS kind of inting, though, didn't go for the Tango TF to go with the Tango Evelyn. Like, that would even make the splash art on the screen right now.
That said, I like that Prodigium dodged the pitfall that could have been going High Noon Prodigium, or High Noon Senna, which would have ended up matching Twisted Fate, and then Twisted Fate's going to camp you. It was well done by him to avoid that, I think.
This is a long-ass load screen.
Who has the toaster?
Yeah, why doesn't Lane have a Nunu? There's like 9 Nunu skins, and he doesn't have any of them. That's
To be
the
fair,
big
base Nunu is pretty cute. I like base Nunu.
Yeah, but he's got like the Monsters Inc. one that's adorable. TPA's pretty good, and then you just have, Robot Nunu that is the best one of the best skins in the entire game.
I mean, it certainly has one of the best spams in the entire game.
Yeah.
Which, if you're picking a skin, you might as well pick it for the spam, right?
I mostly just like that he tells you to tower dive the entire game, and I'm down for that.
He's a confidence booster. I like that. It's
All right, welcome back to Summoner's Rift then. On the blue side of the Rift, once again, will be the SADBOIS, and on the red side, Return of the Middlesticks. Last game we saw some interesting level 1 execution from SADBOIS resulted in a kill and a bunch of Summoners blown. And it's still just the 5-point. Look at Lane is already recalling. Not gonna
He
fall
got his
for that
ward
one.
down. He's fine with going home. He's the early game from last game was sort of traumatizing for him. Again, he didn't hit level 3 until like 4.5 minutes into the game. Had a really rough time securing any of his camps. So this time around, warding for the invade and just wanting to nice quiet level 1 to secure his blue buff. And thankfully for them, Firelight on the Shaco has a little bit less level 1 potency than the Pike did. As we see a pause here.
Oh, both supports DC'd, allegedly. All right. Well, hopefully not too long on Maximus getting back in. Yeah, I kind of like the setup though from Firelight. You can, if you don't remember that you're playing against a Shaco from Champ Select and you walk into that bush.
Yeah, you could definitely take a little bit of damage there. Shaco's support, notorious for consistently trapping your bushes and just maintaining bush control that way. We'll see if RCM's able to dissuade him from doing so, or if he ends up getting free reign there.
All right, I'm gonna throw up the splash screen just because, very technically, these teams could cheat. I don't think either team would do that. So, but yeah, that's why it's up right now. Apparently Maximus is back, but Firelight is gone. Actually, they weren't just joking around. So, we're waiting just a second on both supports to get back into game.
And I think if we see that chat, then I think that they're probably still paused, right?
No.
Is that how that works?
No, we're just 3 minutes behind them. It doesn't actually matter regardless. It pushes the chat to you every minute, I think.
See, I thought once you hit the pause, it gave you like all the chat up to that point.
Oh.
I thought it was like a timestamp thing.
Yeah, I don't know how the chat interacts with it.
Who knows?
Yeah, I feel like I should have something to talk about, but I don't really.
We just got through 3 minutes of 3 minutes of pregame, 2 minutes of load screen. Now,
Oh, they hit
a couple
ours.
more minutes of pause.
Yeah, I was gonna have to start talking about worlds, given my head-ass opinions. Nobody wants that though.
Even if there are, I think we still have 3 more minutes. I think we still have to wait out the. Oh no, never mind. I am entirely incorrect. As we're getting back into game.
All right. So still just the 5 points for both teams. Well, kind of pseudo 5 points with some wards and boxes in places, but will they go for the late invade? They're kind of set up as that 3 stack over here on the
Oh,
red
no.
side. They're going for it. They're going to get
They
spotted
see
by
it.
the
It's
ward
warded
though.
out.
He's going to give it up. They're going to take away the raptors. This is really interesting. This is an invade that we did see in LPL. Someone hit a box somewhere. That was kind of interesting. We just see the comet fly from Firelight. Yeah, there's another box hit for Maximus.
Oh no, Lane didn't do his red buff, so now he's getting pressured off because last Spartan has the ward on the red buff, is still here. Oh no. Lane.
Yeah, Cupper Deng goes over the wall. They're looking for last Spartan Man, but he's level 2, can start chunking through. Those Qs do start to build up some damage from last Spartan Man, but this is a really good early start for Evelyn, especially into Nunu, who you would think would be relatively safe in his own jungle.
Yeah, no, he's just gotten absolutely zero support in the level 1s of these games. It's making it extremely difficult for him. As already a fight here in the bottom lane.
Mansuda gets snared up. Maximus just taking a bunch of damage from that Shaco box. They're trading back the damage. Another soul pull there from Prodigium. And a little bit better trade for ROTM. Certainly better than we saw last game at this point.
Yeah, no, there are just a few less deaths so far. And Lane, as we see him making the long trek all the way around, isn't even able to walk through the mid lane.
He didn't
go
even
all the way around just to start his first camp.
He didn't finish his Krugs either. It looked like he was starting to do those, and just I feel so bad for Lane right now. Cardinals getting chunked through by Tendies. That's some good early trades for him. Has to keep in mind that Ignite exists, so you can't get super low in that lane, or Tendies will start that snowball off early.
Yeah, definitely. A Kali into melees can sort of bully out in the early game, but Last Spartan Man, still level 2, but is here in the top lane.
Oh, gets the
Ooh.
charm down with just those extra Qs. That was really nicely done. It's going to slow up the attack of Tendies. Meanwhile, good trade by Cupperdang in the mid lane as he's getting the better of DTS in those trades, but not in the CS. Prodigium just gets to the right side of that box in time.
He found him with the W even while Shaco was invisible, so well done there. Able to keep himself safe as Maximus was off warding. But the other thing about Liposuction Lane, still level 2, just now doing the crab, is because he was pushed off of his red buff. SADBOIS should know exactly where he's at for the next, foreseeable couple of minutes. There's only a few camps that are up. There's only a few paths he can take, and it's gonna be really hard for him to accomplish much of anything just after that early game.
Yeah, you can immediately see Firelight put that ward in the tri-bush. That was right about the time that he could have been there after doing the crab. And now Tendi's looking for it. Gets the ignite, the 5-point strike. Is that enough damage? It's
going to be
not.
the last tick. Ooh.
Cardinals
Wow.
lives.
Surviving. That is the ignite down for Tendi, so a little bit less pressure in that lane. That said, that wave is slow pushing into him. He can just freeze. Oh, he's autoing for some reason. No, Tendi's, let it push into you. You can just freeze that forever.
Yeah, DTS level 5. He's threatening like he's level 6, though. They're looking for this bottom lane. Prodigium and Maximus still have all of their summoner spells available as Firelight deceives forward. Box behind. Not going to get that fear back into the turret. They'll turn this around. Firelight taken pretty low. Doesn't have any mana left. He burns his exhaust for that. But he might just be setting up for Evelyn to come back here in a minute or two.
Even if Evelyn shows up, Firelight and Cockman Suda both are just entirely out of mana, not going to be able to give much help there. And it looks like Last Spartan Man opting for the recall rather than trying to figure out a gank there.
Yeah,
As we see Cardinals. Oh, this
he's
wave is
contesting
getting
this
close.
wave, and now
Oh,
Liposuction Lane's
feels
here.
bad.
That was a really good clone. He's getting himself at least away. He's back into Liposuction Lane, tries to dive through, gets the Nimbus Strike. Oh, the E connects, though, from Tendi's, and that should spell death. First blood for Tendi's, too.
And the worst part about that is that his wave still isn't fixed. Tendi's can still freeze this forever. Cardinals this lane's actually just lost now. It's unwinnable. Like, Tendi's can recall right here, teleport back up, get his buy, and just it's impossible for Cardinals to play this lane now.
Yeah, this was kind of the only option he had, was to teleport back in and try to fix it immediately. But Tendi's hits level 6. He goes in with the perfect execution. We're watching Cupperdang in the mid lane as Tendi's hits the second part. Cardinals is low, trying to run away. Last Spartan Man's here that poured in from TF. They're trying to collapse onto Tendi's. Gold card through. Last Spartan Man flashes, and they do punish him for the overextension as DTS takes the kill.
Tendi's getting a little bit blood hungry there, going for the kill rather than just securing that freeze. And that's just the global here from the Twisted Fate and Last Spartan Man being in the right spot to take advantage of it. That said, ROTM gonna be able to trade the dragon, so not the worst thing in the world.
I don't like that Senna left and ignored those souls that were in the dragon pit. If you want the math on that, each soul's worth about 40 gold. The only minion that's worth it to go back for, ergo, is your cannon minion.
And if you get multiple souls, then even then the cannon not
Oh,
worth it.
just
Last
a
Spartan Man.
little sidestep there
Ooh.
from Last Spartan Man. Cupperdang
Being a
goes through,
little
he
cute.
hits the ultimate recalls. No turret shot following him. I was a little worried there for Cupperdang. Actually, there was. It was an invisible turret shot that hit him, but didn't chunk through that health bar completely. And now lane disconnects.
A summoner has reconnected.
Wait, I don't know if you have chat on.
I
They're
do, I
flaming.
just turned it
What the fuck?
It's just below the overlay. It says, it's from Prodigium. First gank of his life, and he circles it XD. Dude did a full 180. That's some high quality. If you can't flame your teammates,
He's taking full advantage of liposuction lane being DC'd to flame his jungler.
And then Cupperdang, I don't think, realized where that lane had DC. My man went to fucking Antarctica. God damn it. Um. Anyway, Cupperdang, I don't think realized Lane wasn't fully in control of that snowball. So went in with that fate sealed, tried to trade that damage, but ultimately just got pretty punished by DTS and Last Spartan Man, now sitting under his turret with no health. We'll have to recall there.
Yeah, he's going to end up missing out on a little bit of CS there, and that might just be a little bit of unfamiliarity with the champion, not quite knowing your damage, and if you're quite have lethal or not. Perhaps with Ignite, maybe he's used to taking that. He could have gotten the kill, but instead, either way, it's still pretty close there in that mid lane. And considering the start to the first game, RTM should be pretty happy as this one is significantly closer. We don't have a 6-0 Ashe right now.
Yeah, ultimately I do like the team comp a lot better for SADBOIS. I feel like it plays a lot more to the strengths that they have. I don't love the Shaco, but I'm willing to be impressed by Firelight,
I was gonna say you like the team comp with support Shaco, huh?
I like the
Okay.
rest of the. I love the Evelyn. I love the TF pick compared to last game. I don't mind the Wukong super much. I really think, I think Wukong's super strong. I also love more things that I love. Prodigium picks up the sweeper on his first back. He might have even had it before that.
He
I saw
actually
it
had
really
it at
early
level
on.
1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he uses it on the Shaco traps. This is a little
Oh, no,
overextended, though, as
Evelyn's
Last
here.
Spartan Man's here. Firelight goes forward looking for the Deceive. The Fear comes through.
Oh,
Will they find the
no.
execution? No, Last Spartan
Oh!
Man walked too close to the tower. He gets hit by the Senna ult. Teleport coming through from DTS. He's looking to finish this one off. It gets cleansed by Prodigium, but he's not able to move fast enough to escape. So they do trade 1-for-1. But Last Spartan Man, just a little too close to the tower, takes the tower shot and falls.
He's saving ult for late game. He ended up he had the double kill there as Prodigium.
Oh, the
as we
perfect
see
execution does
Ooh.
connect Cardinals, just trying to get that distance. I don't think he can get away. Yeah, there's the Ignite. He levels up, but it's not going to be enough as Tendies takes him down.
Just walks up and ignites. But again, Last Spartan Man, Prodigium ended up inting his support as Evelyn's E will follow through dashes and flashes. So Evelyn E'd at just the right time to get into melee range. He'll follow
Oh,
the Prodigium
The
flash.
Q, the Lasher didn't connect. Now they're looking to collapse, but it's going to be the 2v2. Last Spartan Man able to get out, dodge the absolute zero. DTS comes through with the port, and he'll find the kill onto Tendi's liposuction lane. It hits the smite and the gas, and he should get out to safety.
And that's the second time that just a lack of respect for the Twisted Fate pick has, resulted in a death of Tendies.
That was super awkward. The spellbook teleport from Maximus to get him back. There were like 3 question mark pings that came down onto him. They're like, why is Rakan here? Also, why is he teleporting? All right, whatever.
Yeah, they sort of walk down river and just
Firelight's here, uses the clone to come in. Arrow gonna connect. They have a lot of damage, but it's just not in range. The box not doing anything and allow Maximus to dodge away. The clone's still following through. That's a lot of damage. Maximus is low. More auto, not quite enough from Cockman Suda.
Yeah, and the Shaco, AP Shaco, the only damage is in the box, in the E, and then in the ultimate. And with that ultimate popping off next to both of them, got the fear, got quite a bit of damage off. Unfortunately, it just took so long. They were able to get all the way under their turret before that damage came out. And with the sustain from the Rakan Q and the Senna,
Oh, here comes
Maximus
the
is able to walk
snowball
back
into
in
bottom
the
lane, though. Maximus finds the quickening, tags up Karasuda. Firelight's off into the alcove. Some alcove gameplay here, but I don't think he'll be able to get away from Prodigium. Does cancel the auto. They'll dive through. Prodigium finally finishes off Firelight, and Cupperdang actually gets a solo kill onto Evelyn, but dies in the process to a tower shot. And then Prodigium will finish off Cockman Suda on the back end. It's a double kill for the Senna, and just a weird trade between the mid laner and the jungler.
Yeah, and 3 kills going over to ROTM there. Really well done there with Liposuction Lane coming down with the snowball, and Maximus engaged that at such a range out that Lane hadn't shown on the ward yet, but he
That's
knew
a
that
little
Lane
too
would be there
early
in time.
on the Rift Herald. This isn't going to be
It's really close. I think it's... Well, Senna doesn't deal shit for damage, so yeah.
Yeah, now Shaco's back. They're not quite going to get that first turret.
I think if it were a real ADC, they would have been able to do it.
Oh,
But
Firelight. He actually was on that ward when he deceived over. Oh, the Ashero's back up already, but it doesn't quite connect. Now the charm coming through. Prodigium taken low, forced to ult, but the shield isn't going to save him. Liposuction lane's here, but I don't think that that's going to do him a whole lot of good. He chomps down onto Firelight for a little bit of health and will dive away. But Tendies is here. He
Tendies.
teleports back in. He hasn't hit his Death's Dance power spike in this game, though, and he'll get charmed in by Last Spartan Man and finished off by Kakmansuda. Last Spartan Man with the Agony's Embrace. He'll find the double kill, and SADBOIS turn that fight around in the bottom lane.
yeah, Lane had come in to dissuade the chase onto Maximus, and they were out. But they ended up getting baited back in by Tendies, who just had flashbacks to the first game, remembered his Ribbon teleport there, and this time around just a little bit less effective. Doesn't even have the finished Gunblade yet. It's not quite what they were hoping for.
Hey, Prodigium, hurry up and win so we can get dinner, fuck ass. That's solid. I like that. All right. It's a dragon going the way of SADBOIS. Some more turret plates in the top lane for Cardinals. As he's staying relatively even in farm despite some of the pressure that he's been under. Playing pretty well this game, honestly, especially given the rank disparity between those two. As Cupperdang takes another trade onto DTS, but Last Spartan Man hanging around, but Maximus also looking to pull the trigger. They get that into the Fate Sealed, but a good stopwatch from DTS. They find Last Spartan Man. They're trying to trade this one back. Nobody gonna fall immediately as Maximus gets ignited and forced to turn away. Cupperdang still looking for it. Gets the dive through. He finds the kill, and he'll be able to get back to his soul.
Oh my god, he ended up going back and forth so much that he had 2 turret shots following him. But able to pick up that kill, doesn't even have to commit the cleanse. Last Spartan Man is hanging around, but...
Ashero actually hits a Kali in the top lane. Not the intended target, but, you know, it still counts as a hit. That's what really matters. As
Exactly.
Firelight was looking for that collapse. Last Spartan Man still hanging around. He's behind Prodigium and Maximus right now. As Firelight looking to bait, doing the worm on top of that ward as Kakmansuda walks up. They're still looking for this. They want that 3v2.
Evelyn ult is coming up. It's just a couple of seconds off.
Oh, the snare. That's very nice from Prodigium, but it's not going to matter. The Agony's Embrace. Or Last Embrace? I forget if they renamed it. It's Last Caress now. I preferred Agony's Embrace. Anyway, the Evelyn ult going to pick up the kill on Prodigium.
Yeah, and they just sort of waited around for that Evelyn cooldown. Once it was up, they just engaged on, and Prodigium on the Senna isn't very tanky yet. Pretty easy for Evelyn to pick that up. Now 4-2 and 5. Extremely strong here on the Evelyn, but TFL's coming in.
Yeah, TFL coming in. The Shroud is no defense for Tendies 2, and the Cyclone from Cardinals will help him secure some more kills. Firelight picks up another one on the back end, and 2 kills for SADBOIS. Now they're in the driver's seat, pulling the trigger on all these fights, and looking good doing it.
And we see Tendies pinging the Twisted Fate R in chat, perhaps just figuring out that counter, as it does make it extremely difficult to play Akali in these team fights. You know, your one saving grace is that you can chill inside of your Shroud forever. And unfortunately for him, Twisted Fate has the counter. Oh my god, Last Spartan Man got the recall, picked up 2 needlessly large rods. Just is going to be an absolute monster on this Evelyn this game.
Yeah. As a note, have you heard Evelyn's quote when she buys a needlessly large rod? It's...
No, I'm not familiar.
Oh.
I know her Void Staff one.
Yeah, I probably can't play it on the stream, so we'll
Oh,
just
it's
leave it
that.
there.
We could get demonetized.
Get demonetized.
We're not an adult-only stream.
Yeah, what should Prodigium do for dinner? This is a big vote in the chat as well. GLP is kind of interesting on the Shaco. They're looking for this, but Liposuction Lane was already waiting in the bush. Firelight's taken really low. That's the clone that's fighting right now as he's able to deceive out. The clone actually snaps back to him. That was kind of awkward. He's got to be careful with this clone. The clone can bring the Senna W to him, and we've seen that happen once, and it could just accidentally kill him at the health that he's at. But yeah, volley's coming through. Maximus is relatively low, but they don't have any tools left to engage that fight, and it'll just be the disengage. Tendies takes the top tower, worth noting, and it's about 1,000 gold lead, excuse me, for the SADBOIS currently.
Yeah, it's still closer at this point than it was in game 1,
Oh,
but this time around
last
Tendy's
Spartan
not as
man.
bad. Ooh.
Every time Evelyn's involved, you just clench for just a second. Want to watch that. Cupperdang was headed down, but DTS has the Destiny available. Another Super
DTS?
Soaker coming through. Last Spartan man able to dodge a little bit of damage with that last caress, but Cupperdang and Tendies have found DTS in the jungle. They'll finish him off. Cupperdang now 3-1, has his Phantom Dancer finished off. Prodigium and Maximus forced to flee their turret, and that should go the way of SADBOIS. But the cross map 1-for-1, or I guess 1-for-0 even, it's just the pressure on the bottom side from the SADBOIS.
Yeah, it is some turret damage. They're going to be able to take this down here. So a little bit of gold in their pocket, but DTS on the Twisted Fate had walked down as if he wanted to ult in, decided better of it, and ends up getting sandwiched between Tendies and Cupperdang. And unfortunately for him, that means another kill over to this Yone. Yone, compared to last game, Tendies 2 was the big strong boy. This time around, the Yone 3-1-0, well on his way to his Infinity Edge, and is set to be extremely scary this game.
Cardinals might have been able to interrupt that Rift Herald. That was just that little timing window. I know it's only like half a second, but you can pull the
I
trigger
don't
in
think
that
it's
case.
interruptible anymore.
Is it not? I thought you still could. If
If it
you
is,
just had
it's
to
the
be super
tiniest.
quick.
I've
Yeah.
literally never seen it interrupted since they ended up making the change to
I just
it.
know there's still that channel timer when you put it down, so I figure it can be interrupted. That might be wrong. Destiny coming out the gate looking for it. Just going to take the defensive option there as all 5 members of RTM kind of spread out in their own jungle. Cupperdang separated right now, though. It's just the four-man squad for RTM as the assassins from SADBOIS looking to try to collapse. Last Spartan Man and DTS on the top side. They'll find Prodigium with a little bit of damage. The 4-man squad's still there. Super Soaker from one side, but the Evelyn from the other as they assassinate Prodigium. Tendies is still looking for it. He's in the Shroud, but he's burning to ignite, and Cardinals takes him down with the Cyclone. Cupperdang goes in, tries to find one. Does he have the damage? He'll take the Shaco clone. He'll take the real Shaco as well, but he gets shut down by Cardinals 29.
And Prodigium walks straight into Evelyn. Once the charm finishes its windup, it tells you exactly where Evelyn is at. He knew she was in the bush, but he walks in anyway and just gets absolutely one shot.
DTS and
As,
Karasuda looking to kite through, and they will finish off Liposuction Lane as well, plus the Ocean Dragon for SADBOIS. And now it feels like the mid-game snowball this time for SADBOIS is on. About a 4,000 gold lead for them, and they're just playing this mid-game so much better this game.
In looking at the inventories, Evelyn had the finished Rabadon's death cap for that fight, was able to just completely one-shot both of the bottom laners there. The only saving grace was that Cupperdang, at the end of it, got pretty close to picking up a couple kills, was only able to secure one, but looking at these mid-game team fights, Yone sort of is the only saving grace for ROTM right now.
Yeah, a lot of eyes on Cupperdang in kind of an unusual situation where he's got to be the primary carry now. And once he finishes up that Infinity Edge,
no.
he'll definitely have the opportunity. But right now we need to be scared for
Evelyn
Prodigium
holds
and
back up.
Maximus. They're forcing them toward the Evelyn, trying to dash away, but the Shaco's just on the other side. They're getting collapsed on from all sides. Ash Arrow connect. That didn't look like it should have connected, but Prodigium will fall anyway. Last Spartan Man now godlike. The Hawkshot just trying to find Cupperdang and Maximus. Dash forward into the 2-Shiv Poison for the slow. Do they have the rest of the CC? Do they want to dive? Firelight just tanking up. He'll get out to safety off of that one. Last Spartan Man can't
Yone
quite
has
finish
to
that
go
one off,
back.
but Yone goes in with the ultimate. It's not going to pay off for him as now Maximus is trapped under tower. It's a good dive so far, but now Tendies finds one, finds two. That's 1,000 gold shut down onto the Evelyn as Tendies looking for a little bit more. He needs to wait out the gold card, but doesn't have it. Forced to stopwatch away. The Absolute Zero gets canceled immediately by the Cyclone, and the Sentinel ult not in time to save Tendies. So SADBOIS come out ahead on that one 3-2.
Yeah, definitely. Everything going in their favor, except Tendies was able to pick up 1,000 gold, so getting a little bit stronger. Based off of last game, I don't know if he's strong enough to carry like that, but any money in his pocket is good for ROTM. That said, SADBOIS are feeling pretty good right now. Evelyn is on her way to the Lich Bane, is just absolutely massive right now. And this Twisted Fate pick is just so good into the Akali, even when he doesn't have his ultimate up. Just by holding a gold card and chilling on his backline, he's able to dissuade the dive.
Prodigium and Maximus
DTS
forced away here as DTS hits that gate again. I don't know what the cooldown is on it, but it seems pretty short this game. Lane gets stunned up, and he does fall eventually as Cardinals takes that kill. I actually really like this Wukong for Cardinals. I think he's doing a great job this game. Firelight chunked through. Do they have the damage? They'll get stunned up by the clone. Tendies jumps forward. He's in the Shroud, but he gets eliminated by Last Spartan Man's Q.
Yeah, that Evelyn Q, able to just find him out in the Shroud. And that's been multiple times this game that Tendies has ended up dying inside of the Akali Shroud. Normally your safe haven just has not been safe this game, and SADBOIS has started up the Baron.
Yeah, SADBOIS on the Baron. I don't know that RTM's actually aware of this. They should be now that some of that vision's starting to be cleared, but Prodigium, Maximus, and Cupperdang not willing to go in, and that'll be the Baron for SADBOIS at 22.5 minutes.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want. That's the way to accelerate this game and make sure that Cupperdang on this Yone and Tendies 2 on the Akali don't hit the item spikes that they need to be able to carry a team fight. That said, Yone does have the finished Infinity Edge. Admittedly, behind the curve, if you start looking at, Twisted Fate's items or Evelyn's.
Oh, Tendies trying the 1v1, and boy, is Last Spartan Man doing some damage. That last caress, able to chunk through him. The cleanse from Maximus just to get him out of the Ash Arrow as he's burning to ignite. Not quite going to fall. Cupperdang opts in. He wants a little bit of style here as he actually ults out of everything. Prodigium forced to run away as well. The chaos that's created by this team comp and the way they're playing it out has been really impressive. The way they're funneling in people, the way they're getting multiple flanks off with the Shaco and the Evelyn. This has been a super impressive game from SADBOIS.
Yeah, the double stealth with the global pressure from the Twisted Fate has just opened up so many opportunities for them, and they've been doing a great job of taking advantage of them and consistently finding these picks.
Tendies is looking for it.
Behind.
Yeah, he jumps right into the Shaco box, unfortunately, and then Last Spartan Man charms him and takes him down. They're turning this back through as SADBOIS takes 2 already. DTS gets the stun onto Prodigium. The card's not quite enough. He's forced to stopwatch, but Cockman Suda will finish off lane, and Firelight looking for Prodigium. Not going to find him, though. He's going to just die to the Senna, but does force him back into the fountain. It's the inhibitor going down for SADBOIS at 24 minutes.
Yeah, he ended up going deep for that, but SADBOIS able to pick that up and not quite able to get this bottom tier, or this bottom inhibitor turret. Oh, Cardinals going back. Just no respect paid to the Yone. Not scared at all. Gets in a couple more hits and then leaves. And that's going to be Dragon. Evelyn, Last Spartan Man, is going to be able to pick that up. And just taking a look at his inventory, sitting on 2,300 gold, is going to be able to finish up that Lich Bane. And might have enough for a Medjai's as well. It has been an absolute monster on this pick this game. It's definitely something that ROTM probably needs to think about banning next game. It's just
TF
so hard
coming
to deal with.
in. He's going to just go right on top of that soul and force the Fate Sealed away from the Yone. They're trying to collapse. They'll find Cardinals as he's forced to Cyclone. Do they actually have the damage to track him down? It doesn't look like they do. He'll hit the Blast Cone, and he's out to safety. DTS now looking for a little bit more, layering in some auto attacks. He's got 25 stacks on this Magi's. He can't really afford to give those up for free, but now still doing damage. Cupperdang goes in. He gets the heal from something. I'm not really sure, but Cockman Suda chasing back through. Meanwhile, Last Spartan Man has found Prodigium, finds him with the Lasher for the kill. Tendies jumps in, opting in for this one, has the perfect execution, and will perfectly execute him. Nicely done by Tendies as they're trying to defend their base. Firelight and Cardinals still looking for a little bit more stealth forward. They get the dash in, but the quickening from Maximus will prevent them from collapsing further. Tendies still wants this for some reason.
Behind. He might be looking for something, seeing if he can catch someone out. Looks like he's thinking better of it, and that's another inhibitor going over to SADBOIS in the 3v2. Not sure if they'll be able to end. It doesn't look like it. There's a lot of people coming up. They might have taken too long. Nunu's coming out with the snowball. See if he can catch anyone. Oh no.
Yeah, the
Wait,
boxes.
Shaco traps are so OP. They can stop Nunu even when he's rolling through with a snowball. It's so annoying for them.
Well, DTS only down to 19 stacks on his Magi's now. Big loss for him, and F in the chat for the
Six
stacks.
And
How many
Oh.
Senna stacks? She's got 64 currently, it looks like.
last Spartan Man ended up selling the Darksteel for a blasting wand? I don't think that's worth, especially since he still had like 6 stacks, right? That has to be more AP. Definitely an interesting choice, but either way, he's so far ahead of the curve that it doesn't really matter what he's building right now. He's one-shotting pretty much everyone on the side of ROTM.
Yeah, now kind of has to be the last stand for ROTM. If they can find a really good fight, they stand a chance. You have the 2 items, so Cupperdang's invincible basically. Tendies has finished up his Zanya's, has a lot of playmaking potential.
Oh,
there
no.
he uses it.
Oh,
He actually
makes
lives.
it out wide.
Yeah, Maximus does a really nice job with the battle dance. Last Spartan Man taken low. Cupperdang finishes him off. Dashes back out to his soul. They're delaying the inevitable, but they're delaying it for sure. Prodigium and
last
Cupperdang
Spartan
forced to back out here. Liposuction lane getting autoed down, forced to use the absolute zero. Cockman Suda just layering in with the Ranger's focus. DTS throws some wild cards through. Tendies jumps onto him, gets immediately exhausted. Just trying to wait that one out. Has the passive available. Cupperdang hits the E back out to safety. Still needs to heal back up. They're still defending. The base isn't dead. They're not dead.
They're still surviving even against this massive gold lead. They're able to pick up the kill on the last Spartan Man, who just is so much of his team's damage right now. And even if Liposuction lane ends up falling, they are stalling out this game. Baron's coming up now. SADBOIS probably going to look for that after a reset. Might be able to pick up this tier 2 top, but yeah, ROTM is still alive. Hitting these power spikes, Yone was able to finish up the Death Dance. Akali has the Leandries. They
Oh no,
are pretty
Cupperdang
strong.
in trouble. Actually, he just is kind of beefy. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, especially with that Death Stance, gives him a lot of survivability. Especially with no real pen on the side of Twisted Fate, any amount of MR is extremely good.
Leandry's finished up for
keeping alive.
Tendies now. DTS waiting over the wall, trying to find that gold card that he needs. Firelight is really low. The autos from Senna starting to really count from Prodigium. Cupperdang doesn't know that Evelyn's there. That's the danger. Tries to dash through just to get to safety, but DTS finishes him off. That's a really good pick. Cupperdang represents a lot of what they have available right now.
And even your base isn't safe against the invisible last Spartan Man. Is able to find him out there and just does so much damage, even through the Death Stance with a little bit of help from DTS, able to pick up that kill. And strangely enough, in the 5v4, not looking for the end, instead looking for the safe play, gonna be securing the Dragon Soul here and then maybe Baron afterwards.
Yeah, but once you have those 2 buffs, I don't know what our OTM can do against that siege. But Ocean Soul for the SADBOIS. Almost 9,000 gold extra in their pocket over RTM, and they'll start shoving in. They're not going to opt for the Baron immediately. Instead, looking for that pressure on the waves that they have set up.
Yeah, and it looks like the last Spartan Man's going to be hanging out in the mid there, trying to pick someone off while the rest of his team is pushing top. Applying the pressure, even without the Baron, they're getting some damage down there, but last Spartan Man trades out a little bit of health onto the Yone, but with Evelyn's passive, it's going to be full HP shortly.
Yeah. The Destiny comes in. That's going to make sure that Tendies can't be in the Shroud as he dives forward. Destiny falls off, but the big engagement, huge Cyclone from Tendies 2 tries to set everything up, but the Yone ult gathers up everybody, but it's 2 kills for DTS. They'll try to dash forward. Cupper, dang, they can't lock him down. He will trade 1 back, but it's not quite going to be enough. Tendies is on the other side of the fight. It's Tendies and Liposuction lane versus 4. We'll see if they can defend. Tendies doesn't have any health, though. He needs to be super careful. Firelight gets hit by the E. He'll take down the Shaco. Lane trying to defend the last bastion of hope, the last tower. But Kakmansuda starts to auto it down as Cardinals last Spartan Man and Kakmansuda show no mercy to the Nexus. They'll even up the series at 1 and take us to game 3.
Yeah, and just an absolute shift compared to game 1. You know, the rest of the map was significantly closer than it had been in the previous game. But this time around, Tendies wasn't able to build as big of a lead. And, you know, with the early ganks from last Spartan Man and the roams from the Twisted Fate, you know, able to set Tendies behind and just, you know, propel themselves to victory. And well done there by SADBOIS, securing that in the end.
I absolutely loved some of those fights with the multiple invisible assassins just collapsing from different angles, the TF on top. It was really well done by the SADBOIS. And we'll take just a small break and head into game number 3. Sorry, I wanted to show the graph. This is what everybody likes to see. The Evelyn did 31,813 damage.
A reasonable amount.
Yeah. All right. So we'll be right back with game number 3.
Oh, looks like they're starting up.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3. Woo! All right. Game number 1, we saw Tendy's diff. Game number 2, we saw Last Spartan Man diff. And now we're set up even footing. It's a best of 3 remaining for these two teams.
And I think we probably need to see an Evelyn ban here. Last Spartan Man was just too effective on that pick. I don't think you want to give it to him again. And
Or we need to see an Evelyn pick for Tendy's. Swap him back to the jungle. Put lane up in the top lane.
Holy shit, that's the big brain. Wait, that's actually... Oh, instead taking the Ashe away from Karasuda, who, seeing if he'll play something else. Maybe, perhaps pulling out the Callista that he's known for.
Yeah, the Callista has been completely available for a while. I've been kind of surprised to not see him pick it, but maybe... I mean, especially against the Ashe, that's not a great matchup.
Yeah. That's it, we'll see what they opt for, and it is the Callista.
Ooh.
Bad matchup be damned, he's looking to play it.
The Blitzcrank available right now. Something that's been banned in the second rotation. Works really nicely with the Callista.
Evelyn, also still open.
Yeah.
See what they opt for. It looks like it's a lot of supports being hovered, so... Morgana? Makes sense.
Okay.
Especially into Ashe, can black shield a lot of her abilities. I don't think that's the worst choice in the world.
Yeah, get that little bit of safety, and there's the Evelyn. That's going to be Tendy's 2 in the jungle.
Oh, shit.
And the Shen for liposuction lane. The lane swap is on in game 3.
They're looking to fight fire with fire. Your jungler carried last game. Well, this game our jungler's gonna carry. Throwing Tendy's back into the jungle where he belongs.
Yeah,
We'll see if he's... So, one thing that SADBOIS has done really well is really aggressive level 1s that have sort of made liposuction's lane's life in the jungle extremely difficult. So, something we'll have to keep an eye on to see if Tendy's is able to deal with it better. That said, I like the TF ban here. TF does similar things to Evelyn that he does to Akali. Makes it pretty difficult to look for flanks. And then a Kindred ban. I guess that makes sense.
I feel like that just makes you sad personally, but oh, the Lee Sin. Okay. Last Spartan Man just gonna kick some folks this game.
As you do. Going for the more early game aggressive pick into Evelyn, who notoriously doesn't have the best early game, but after some recent buffs, it's better than you might expect, so see how that matchup goes. Braum, the choice to match up with Ashe, the Freljord synergy there. And I'm looking for a mid laner here.
Yeah, unfortunately a blind mid laner for RTM, which would mean that they've pretty much blinded, every single lane.
But yeah, as you do, that's just the confidence that they come in with, right?
Yeah. I mean, not that they can't not blind mid lane right now. It's going to be the Zoe for Cupperdang. So that's a lot of mid game power, right? With the Ashe arrows, with the Zoe power spike, even Shen kind of more of a mid game scaling champion. And meanwhile, we're looking kind of early game until we lock in the Sylas.
I think Sylas makes a lot of sense here. His matchup into Zoe is, pretty alright. It's not as bad as, most melee into ranged matchups, but some really good ultimates to pick up here. Ashe and Braum, both really strong ults, but the big one is Evelyn. Sylas with an Evelyn ulti is very scary. Suddenly has a massive execute. It'll be interesting to see how much pressure he's able to apply with that, as Sylas, perhaps not what I was expecting, but, I don't hate the pick.
Yeah, I believe we did see DTS play Sylas last night as well to pretty good effect, so something that we've seen him carry on, and I love that mid-jungle 2v2, though, with Sylas Lee Sin. There is, not a whole lot that stands up well to Sylas Lee Sin in a 2v2.
there's a lot of damage there, you know, a good amount of CC there with the Silas, a lot of sustain, as Lee Sin with Conqueror has more sustain than you might expect. It'll be really difficult to win that 2v2. One thing, looking at the Kalista pick, usually against Kalista, you're wanting to pick things that are applying consistent CC, you know, whether that be slows or point and click stuns. Those are really effective, or things that just hard outrange her. Yeah, I would have liked to see something like an Azir here out of Cup or Dang, but the Zoe technically also still outranges Kalista, though probably less. Isn't quite able to nullify Kalista as well as something like an Azir might be able to.
Yeah, and it feels like with the Morgana already there, I don't love this. Normally, I'm a proponent of a Zoe pick, right? I think that the champion's very good, but I feel like they already had the tools available to deal with Zoe, and then now you're getting kind of a bad lane matchup anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know that was avoidable because you're blind picking as Cupperdang, but I just think you go something a little bit more generic, something we've seen him play, maybe like a Corki, something really boring, and you don't have that same difficulty of, hey, they've got a black shield and can just kind of negate. They also don't really have any champions that I can just blow up as Zoe other than the Kalista.
And even then, Kalista is sort of hard to hit because of how many hops she has. Plus, you know, with the black shield, it's going to be really difficult to actually lock her down. Not to mention, Kalista ult is even going to be able to save Morgana. Morgana doesn't have to black shield herself. I think it's going to be really difficult for Zoe to find easy kills this game. A lot of them she's really going to have to work hard for.
Yeah, and kind of similar with Evelynn, I think she's got a little bit more burst than Zoe, which I know is probably blasphemy to say, but Evelynn can at least find those targets on the Lee Sin, on the Silas, even potentially on the Wukong if you can navigate the clone correctly. So I like the Evelynn pick. I don't think the Zoe was what they needed right there.
Yeah, not a huge fan of it. That said, Cupperdang, I believe I've seen a Zoe before. I think it's something that he's pretty comfortable on. So, you know, comfort oftentimes trumps matchups. We'll see how much he's able to do on this, how much of an impact he is, you know. Sort of putting himself at a disadvantage, but, you know, if he's good enough at the champion, it shouldn't matter too much.
And I am really curious. I really want to see Prodigium and Maximus do well in this lane. They put a lot of their draft chips into getting Ashe, right? They picked blue side, or no, they didn't. It was SADBOIS that had picked side selection here, right?
I believe so. Yeah, 1, 3, and 5.
Okay.
But that said, still first picking the Ashe, taking it away from Karasuda, you want to see it because this should be an Ashe favored matchup. You know, slowing on every single auto isn't the greatest for Kalista. Not to mention the volley hard outranges Kalista. It should be, you know, sort of a difficult matchup. So if ROTM's not able to capitalize on that, that's sort of, you know, a missed opportunity for them.
So as we load into game number 3, tied 1-1 so far. Really exciting 2 games, at least initially. Game 2 kind of dragged out a little bit at the end, but that's hard to fault the teams for necessarily. But I'm ready for game number 3. Kind of the big point of interest is going to be Tendi's on this Evelynn. If he can survive the early pressure that we've seen SADBOIS consistently put on to liposuction lane, if he can find some of those early jungle camps and get off to the good start that he'll need to on that Evelynn pick.
Absolutely, it's something we really need to keep an eye on, and it might be worth, you know, our team has the Braum level 1, so perhaps looking for some sort of an aggressive play, marking out their own territory and making sure to secure Tendies some early camps. It might be worth doing. That said, definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Liposuction lane against Cardinals in the top lane. You know, between the role swaps, we sort of forgot about the other side of that. Shen, extremely strong right now within the meta. Generally someone who's blind picked a lot. I imagine at the matchup in a Wukong, it doesn't seem like it should be terrible. So definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. I'm also kind of curious. The Hail of Blades is the option for Karsuda or Cockman Suda on the Kalista.
I think that's relatively common. You know, it's definitely an alternative option.
Yeah.
Gives them a little bit more burst in the short trades. At the cost of, I assume that you would normally go fleet footwork, right? Uh,
I've
or not fleet. I'm sorry, lethal
lethal tempo.
tempo.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I get those mixed up.
Yeah. It's
Fleet footwork isn't even a rune anymore. I don't know why I mentioned it.
but yeah, it's the damage in the early trades for Hail of Blades compared to kind of the greater late game scaling option for the lethal tempo. Kind of interested to see. Cockmansud has played significantly more Callista than I have in my entire life, so um, I'll
Yeah, I'm not
trust
sure
his
if you,
judgment on that one. But just worth noting that we're going to see him spike even earlier, even harder on that Callista than maybe we're used to seeing. So we hit the Rift for game number 3. RTM on the blue side, SADBOIS on the red side.
What Morgana skin is that?
It's
That's kind of cool.
Coven? I don't. I always get flamed when I say it. So.
I think it's Coven, the word, but
Yeah.
it's. I wouldn't have guessed because it's so different. I think the only Coven skin that I see often is Camille's, so it's a different aesthetic. I like that skin.
Yeah, I play Lysandres when I have to play that champion, which, isn't super often, but.
Yeah, that said, we're seeing this bit of a stack here. SADBOIS for once not poised necessarily for the early invade, but Cardinals has carved out a pretty good piece of the river there. He's been able to walk down and get quite a bit of information. Might
Yeah,
even
and
be able to walk in and just get a ward on that blue buff. Be super annoying.
yeah, Firelight actually walks into that red buff and forces Prodigium back out of there. I was about ready to call him Karasuda because he's playing Ashe. Not gonna lie.
Ooh.
DTS not able to connect on that abduct, but does force Zoe back down into the river. That might be a little bit of an issue. Maximus just shows that minion who's boss with the winner's bite to start off the lane. And yeah, no harassment down onto Tendies. They're giving him a lot of respect, not going for that late invade.
Which is strange. You would think Evelyn level 1 is usually weaker than Nunu, right? But, they're not interested in invading the Evelyn, but they do invade the Nunu every game. It's an interesting adaptation.
I think it's... I don't want to flame necessarily. I think it has more to do with the player playing. I think they're a little bit more scared of Tendies than they are of liposuction lane, especially as a solo person. I think it is just the respect, potentially. Or maybe they're just trying something different for game number 3. A lot of abilities being thrown across. No stuns just yet. There's one registered. It's going to chunk through onto Cockmansud. It forces the flash out of the Callista early on.
And the Braum was just massive there, able to apply his passive to both targets, and it means that that's a one trade for them, especially with the Ashe, who's able to chase your ass down the lane with the auto attacks. Really well done there, but last Spartan Man's already bot lane.
Yeah, hits level 3. They're going for that big trade. Don't want to wake him up necessarily. Last Spartan Man is behind this bottom lane. He's got a good flank. Dashes in, and the snare lands. It's first blood for Last Spartan Man.
Yeah, and already 2 lanes going the way of SADBOIS, as Last Spartan Man's the first jungler to make his impact known, and then DTS with that push in the mid lane. But actually with Cupperdang able to come out on top there, has a bigger wave here, is going to have an XP lead. But DTS didn't have to use his teleport, so probably relatively even there.
Yeah.
Tendies able to full clear his entire jungle, as an Evelyn is wont to do. And going to be able to pick up that top crab as well. Definitely the sort of an early game you would want for an Evelyn, only marred by the bottom lane giving over a kill.
Yeah, I am really interested. Lane catching that wave up in top lane, but he's already 9 CS behind Cardinals. And Cardinals takes the recall, goes back and buys a cull. He's feeling really confident up in that top lane.
Yeah, no, just such a stark
difference.
difference.
Finds Last Spartan Man. They're going to scrap here. Level 4 for Evelyn, level 3 for Last Spartan Man. Flashes away, hits the charm, able to dodge out the abduct. Cupperdang doesn't really have the damage to help follow through. And again, this is just the mid-jungle 2v2 that we were talking about. Evelyn and Zoe do not match up well. But when you call in your friends, maybe you can? No, not really going to
I actually really like the way that Tendies 2 played that. Usually with the Evelyn, when you get caught out, it's hard because your charm takes a long time to proc. Ends up blowing all of his cooldowns first, getting the damage out, and then using the charm to dissuade a chase. Pretty well played there in order
Cupper
to
Dang in a
avoid
lot of
dying.
trouble. He misses his bubble,
Oh no.
gets chunked through. The binding doesn't quite connect, but Last Spartan Man comes through, hits the E, and Maximus not able to really do anything about that. Last Spartan Man now with 2 kills on the Lee Sin.
Yeah, really well played there by SADBOIS, especially DTS, who's just coming out on top of all of these trades in the mid lane. So you see liposuction lane is getting some damage down, but Cardinals isn't
Cardinals
too scared.
chunking through, dashes forward with
Oh.
the clone and the auto for the kill, the
wow.
solo kill for Cardinals 29. And now Prodigium in trouble. Maximus flashes forward for the stand behind me. They're looking to turn this one back around. Only the Brown passive onto Kakmansuda. They will stun him up. The cleanse is not going to be enough as Prodigium takes back the 2v2 kill in the bottom side. Needs to be careful. The minion's still on him. Firelight looking for it.
Might
Firelight
be able to
could be able
fish
to...
a W. It
yeah.
has an execute on it.
I don't think he can quite find that. The dash forward from Maximus, if he can get him into that stun range, they might have enough damage to chunk through. Prodigium has to play this super carefully. There's such a huge wave. Yeah, another Dark Binding. He dodges the pool.
Okay, well that's a lot of the pressure down. That's 150 HP for Prodigium. You should be able to eat this wave safe. But Lee Sin's here. Tendy's 2's here. It's it's set to be a party down here.
Yeah, this is super important, though, for Prodigium to collect. This is a huge number of minions coming in. I'm going to throw up this screen right now just so that we don't give away anything.
But I think the big thing here, if SADBOIS is able to trade out 1, maybe even 2 deaths for Prodigium to deny him these 2 waves, it might be worth it. That's so much experience there.
Yeah. And he's not like an Ezreal with a teleport or anything, can't get back to lane. This is such a key moment, and unfortunately it's liposuction lane that's lagging up in the top lane. I'm sure that's why he died.
Of the map.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was saying, I'm sure that's why he died. I saw that lag on that solo death, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think I felt it from here, you know? He's lagging a little bit. And it looks like they might be ready.
Alright, I gotta get ready on the transition here. Don't want to miss anything.
We're going to be jumping straight into the action.
Yeah, and now that these teams have had just a little bit of time to talk over this play, they know how important it is. And boy, yeah, this could decide the game right now, honestly, whether they can get this kill on Prodigium. Timer counting down. Here we go.
Spartan Man still walking in. Tendy's
gets spotted out.
Tendy's.
Yeah, they do find him. They force the members of SADBOIS back in. Maximus is taken low. He can fall. Prodigium trying to turn this one back around. Cupper Dang around the side. Not able to find that paddle star. Firelight goes down. It's a double kill for Tendy's too. That was not the outcome I expected out of that. Prodigium actually drops the wave anyway. But they get 2 kills onto Tendy's. Cupper Dang still looking for more. Kakmansuda trying to dodge this one out. The dash forward for the autos. The paddle star connects. And Cupper Dang takes down the SADBOIS 80 carry. And it's going to be another pause for liposuction lane. I don't feel as bad about this pause, so we'll keep it.
Yeah, good manners there, as they waited to pause until after Cupper Dang was able to secure the kill onto Karasuda. But wow, that play ends up getting 2 kills over to Tendy's 2, who already had the farm lead over the Lee Sin. Is just going to be so strong now. Plus Ashe, Prodigium didn't end up dying, is going to be able to pick up this XP just so good for ROTM. You know, it looks like they don't have the gold lead right now, but based on compositions and based on the state of the game, that play was just so massive for them.
Yeah, and Prodigium able... we can't understate how huge this wave is for him at this stage of the game, especially against the Ashe Morgana lane. Yeah.
Prodigium is level 5 right now and still has most of the wave to catch. Kakmansuda, you can't see it right now. He was level 4 when he died. He's missing out on so much XP. He's died twice back to back. Is going to be so far behind, you know, and we might not see it right now. But in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, when Prodigium is hitting that level 6, Kakmansuda is still going to be level 5, and we might see a play then. It's just massive for ROTM. It gives them a lot of breathing room here in this bottom lane.
Yeah, hopefully Lane can fix his stuff. We've got ours, and we've got the unpause. So here we go. back into game. Yeah, big swing. What we haven't mentioned is, of course, that other side of the map where Cardinals has such a huge lead right now on liposuction lane. Already a level advantage plus 30 CS. He's got the wave frozen.
Oh no.
Lane is DCing. He's reconnected again. Needs to turn off that lag switch, I guess. I don't.
Yeah, SADBOIS getting the DDoS out for the fight night.
He's not connected to Discord right now. All right, I'm
He
gonna.
said he's resetting his router in
Okay.
chat, so.
All right, I'm gonna throw up the BRB screen. I don't. Yeah,
A summoner has disconnected.
poor guy.
Yeah, not ideal for him, but at the same time, not to take away from what Cardinals is doing here in the top lane, just an absolute about face compared to the first two games where he had a lot of trouble dealing with tendies. This time around has been really confident. This Wukong pick has been working out for him. Was able to pick up that solo kill even, and just is applying so much pressure. Just the CS lead right now. When you're looking at the lowest ranked person on your team and still has such a high CS, almost tied for first in the game. It's doing extremely well.
Yeah, and we did see him. He hit some really big ults on that Wukong in game number 2. I really want to keep an eye on him for this game. Our channel isn't even locked. That's funny. Sounds like they're gonna have a party in the SADBOIS Discord. I'm not invited to the SADBOIS Discord, unfortunately.
Yo, I can give you an invite to the SADBOIS Discord if you want. We can check in mid game, get some interviews,
Yeah.
see how they're feeling about it.
They've probably restarted by now. Just hey, how are you guys doing? But yeah, we're about 7 minutes into the game. No dragon priority really shown by either team. It's been kind of interesting. We saw a big focus on it in game number 1 for Return of the Middle Sticks, pretty much on dragon spawn, being down there trying to stack that. Game number 2, we didn't really see they eventually got Ocean Soul, but it didn't feel like they were there on spawn. This is the most important objective that we're doing. It felt more like a side objective for them.
That's sort of a side effect of picking a jungler like Evelynn, who, even with the early game buffs, it still feels really good to, just farm up and pick up your items. Because you just spike so hard in the mid game that taking time off to go and try and pick up the dragon isn't usually your highest priority. And Last Spartan Man has been so active around the map that he just hasn't really gotten a chance for it yet. But I would expect SADBOIS especially, if they're able to get prio and bot lane at all, to try and pick up that dragon. So looking at Shen's inventory, right now it's a ruby crystal and a Doran shield. Do you think he's going for a Sunfire, or is he going for a Titanic?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. That should probably be a chain vest and some health pots, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tabi Bramble is the correct choice. But he already has the HP crystal, so there's no going back now.
Yeah, especially against the AD
Wukong
jungler
is
as well.
going.
Yeah.
Wukong is going Blade of the Ruin King. He needs to go Tabi Bramble. Tabi Bramble's the only saving grace that he has in this lane.
My small update that I have is that Lane is back in the RTM Discord.
Exciting. Hopefully that means that they'll be starting back up soon.
Yeah, really need an analyst desk to throw this to.
Yeah.
For situations like this. Need Mark Z in here talking about the Sad Boys and Return of the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, what's Mark Z's take on this?
I don't know. He's too busy flaming C9 right now. It sounds like so.
Oh, is he? I mean,
Who wouldn't be, right?
yeah, Cloud9, disappointing season for them.
That's a phrasing for it. Yeah.
I think that's the phrasing for it. That said, bright side, TSM back to Worlds after 2 years, 3 years without going. Has to feel pretty good. I'm not gonna pretend that they have super high chances of, taking everything once they get there.
So
But
here's the big brain play, right?
okay, hit me with that.
Okay. They're in essentially like the loser semifinal right now, right? They're gonna
Yeah.
play the loser of TSM or of TL FlyQuest. It doesn't matter.
Are they?
Yeah.
Wait, I don't think so. Don't they? Isn't it just finals next weekend
No.
and then like a third place match?
No, tomorrow is TL FlyQuest.
Oh shit! So then TSM plays the loser of that,
Yeah.
and then has to play another best. Oh, Jesus,
Yeah.
I did not
So,
realize that was
the
format.
big brain play, right?
Hit me with it.
They're gonna lose. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be TL, it could be FlyQuest. They lose that best of 5, right? They're NA's 3rd seed. They go into play-in stage, and Double If finally gets out of groups.
Does play-in groups count as getting out of groups?
Does it matter? He's getting out.
I don't think that counts as groups. I think that the world group stage is the only thing that counts as groups.
I mean,
Oh god, I don't want TSM in group. If TSM's in the play-in, like there's a chance they actually fucking lose. Oh my! I can't have TSM be the first NA team to not make it out of fucking play-ins. Please no. Though that might be our only chance of winning a game at Worlds.
all right, we're unpaused now as we head back into game. Yeah, we're gonna watch lane. Hopefully not lag now. Cardinals is freezing the wave on him. That's kind of BM. At least let him go up and see if his auto attacks work, right?
No.
Maximus
no.
is roamed.
After what Tendies did to him 2 games ago, you don't play around, man. You're freezing that shit forever.
Okay, they do work.
Don't-
He's got the ward. That's fine. Maximus was looking near mid, not able to find anything onto DTS, but now might get collapsed on his Firelight, finds the Dark Binding. Last Spartan Man's here waiting, not able to find that resonating strike, but will get abducted. Gets slept mid. Braum ult, that was a super weird animation. Stun not going to come through just yet as Tendi's looking to collapse. Finds the snare, has the last caress, and will execute DTS. Now Firelight in trouble. Good dodge by Cupper Dang, but unfortunately Tendi's takes that one for the team in the background. Dang still looking for it, not able to find that paddle star, but does find the sleep. And that'll be Firelight going down as Cupper Dang finds him. Last Spartan Man safeguards over the wall.
Why the hell does Zoe get move speed? It's okay to give her summoner spells. Why does she get move speed on them too? Jesus, what a champion. Well played there by RotM. Tendi's in the right place at the right time to secure that kill. Now 3-0-0. I like the way the DTS played that. Was able to buffer the Braum ultimate even while he was going to sleep and ended up canceling the Zoe ult. I'm not sure what happened there, but it looked pretty good. Unfortunately ends up falling.
Yes, score is 1-1 Rahin. Apologies if that's not the full name. Tendi's looking around mid lane, trying to find DTS now, but playing a little bit safe here, but has the stealth available. Cockman Suda going to pull up Firelight looking for this. Firelight's only level 4 to the level 6, but he'll kick back in Prodigium, last Spartan Man here, and Prodigium trying to kite that one out. Where was the rend? I guess he used it for the slow. It's traded back, though, the Ignite from Maximus. Last Spartan Man forced to get the job done himself. Hits the Resonating Strike, and Liposuction lane comes in. Has the taunt, lands onto Last Spartan Man. Gets the stun into the other stun. Tries to dash forward with the Resonating Strike. He'll trade that one back. That was a nice little play from him. Now Tendi's looking for this last kill.
See if he's
Vaughn
able
doesn't
to
know.
pick it up here.
Firelight.
Oh, his ult's almost up. Oh, he doesn't even need it. Wow, so much damage.
Yeah, really nicely done by Tendy's, able to find that extra kill on the end and give them the overall advantage in that fight. About 100 gold lead, another small gold lead for RTM, as Cardinal's just wailing away on that tower and making me wrong immediately as he takes back that gold lead.
Last Spartan man ended up trying to give the kill over to Cockman Suda, and unfortunately Cockman Suda ends up paying with his life. And what surprises me is that Shen ult came in onto the Braum. If it came in onto Ashe, there's a real chance that Prodigium ends up surviving that
He
whole thing
might
there.
not have been level 6 at that point.
He was level 7 when he ulted, so...
He was level 5 giving the ult frozen on... I don't know. I'm trying to give him benefit of the doubt.
I don't think he got 2 levels off. I mean, he might have gotten 2 levels off of a wave, but... either way, at the end of the day for ROTM, they have an extremely strong Evelynn now. Recalling here, sitting on 1,700 gold, so I'd expect to see a...
Oh, Cupperdang in trouble.
recall.
He is able to hit the Sleepy Trouble Bubble onto DTS and at least get out to safety. Tendies is here, but DTS collapses onto him. Double Agony's Embrace. The kick is huge from Last Spartan Man. It'll force the stopwatch out. They'll shut down Tendies. They'll shut down Cupperdang. And now in the top lane, Cardinals in Liposuction lane renewing their pleasantries. Ultimate on the Cyclone, just chunking through. The dash does so much damage. That Nimbus Strike into the auto. He doesn't have the W
he's so
available,
dead.
and Cardinals takes another solo kill in the top side. And look at the CS difference between Cardinals and Liposuction lane.
Yeah, Cardinals is just a monster now. And unfortunately for ROTM, Tendies too was sitting on almost 2,000 gold when he canceled his recall there. And it ends up meaning that he gives over his shutdown. Fortunately, onto the Lee Sin, who, you know, notoriously doesn't scale all that well. You know, if you are going to give over that shutdown, that's not the worst target for it to go to.
Yeah, if he can keep finding the kicks the way that he has been, you don't need to scale necessarily. Maximus hits the ultimate. Cockman Suda really low, so is Firelight, but here's the resonating strike. Maximus forced to go into the Zanyas to save himself from the Ignite, but it's just going to buy him a little bit of time. Oh, he'll get the trade back. That's a huge shutdown onto Maximus, which isn't the best place for that gold, but he does get that kill back. Teleport coming through. Binding lands onto Cupperdang. He's forced just to sit there as DTS channels his teleport back in. Gets the dash forward. Doesn't have the damage
Why
to
does
finish
she
him off,
get
though.
move speed? Why does she get moves? Oh my god. What a silly champion. But Last Spartan Man on this Lee Sin has just been so impactful. Such a monster on this champ. Has been finding all of these proactive plays and playing extremely well. Now 6-3-3 has the finished Edge of Night, which just makes it that much harder for Evelynn to deal with him. Really well played by him.
Yeah, I am kind of interested the Edge of Night rather than an Umbral Glaive. Do you like that choice given
I think it's
the game?
100% because of Evelynn. Like, maybe because of Zoe, but I think it's because of Evelynn. Like, Evelynn now, if she does end up finding Lee Sin, it's a lot harder for her to be able to, you know, burst him out or get, like, an instant charm off. I don't hate it. Although I definitely think he should pick up Mercs. If he can get Merc Treads soon. Like, it does double duty because the top trio of ROTM all do a significant amount of magic damage. So picking up Merc Treads is just going to be so efficient if he's able to do that soon.
Yeah, Tendy's spotted on that pink ward. Good bubble from Cupperdang. We'll see if he can even really get a chunk onto DTS. Doesn't look like he wants to take it. I always feel weird saying Cupperdang rather than that dang dude. Or even Demon Print. Use Demon Print for way too long.
Yeah, we need Demon Print back. What happened to him?
That's Firelight? A lot of damage from Firelight, actually, on that binding onto Maximus. These bot lanes still wanting to scrap. The Black Shield is so good to help him kite through. The Ren wasn't quite in time, but it will find Maximus. And another 2v2
Black
kill.
Shield here, though. Teddy should be able to pick this up if he goes in the next few seconds.
Yeah, they're looking for Prodigium.
Oh no, there's so many people here.
But Tendies is looking for Cockman Suda. He'll get the Shen ult on top of him. Dark Binding lands onto Shen. He's trying to kite this one out, but it's not going to be enough. Not kite it out. He uses the Spirit's Refuge. Teleport now coming in from Cardinals as they're maybe looking to dive. How are they going to manage this one? They come through the Cyclone. Not quite enough damage. Cupperdang hits the Zanyas. Tendy's just trying to trade back as many as he can. The last embrace is enough to get a double kill for him. He gets 3 kills off of that. And now
And
maybe
2 of them
one
were
more. Last
massive
Spartan man
shutdowns.
not quite able to hit that Q. The
Oh.
Lasher not there.
And Tendy's is just so strong now, picking up so many kills. Last Spartan.
Oh, they're still looking for this Maximus, going for it. I don't think this is going to pay off for him.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is already
Oh
paying off.
no, Cockman Suit is there as well to get the shutdown onto Tendy's.
Yeah, just a little too excited there. Again, Tendy's just continuing to try to make plays. The man had a finished Rabadon just sitting in his bank. Like, why not just go home and buy that? Do you really need to chase down the Lee Sin?
Yeah, I don't think so, but does Tendy's think so is what's important.
And quietly, well, not really quietly, there's been a lot of action, but a 5k gold lead here for SADBOIS.
Yeah, gets the Super Soaker, the counter Super Soaker, the counter Super Soaker here. And then Copper Dang not quite able to hit the Paddle Star, the Ignite, plus the dash, he's out to save.
Oh,
DPS
he has
lives.
Flash! Just Flash! I'm pretty sure Cupperdane could have Flash, got the Zoe passive, and would have been able to pick up the kill there, but as it is, DTS able to survive with just the tiniest bit of health. Karasuda has a 40 CS lead on this Callista. Already, like that's an absurd amount of CS, especially for a lane that's supposed to be a counter pick. Especially for a Callista who has 4 deaths.
Last Spartan, man. We saw Tendy's do that in the bot lane, and then he'll pay him back in the mid as Tendy's takes that kill.
And that's a massive shutdown. Evelyn was already strong. Did she really need a 700 gold shutdown? I mean, she'll take it. Evelyn is going to be extremely scary now.
But yeah, these CS leads in top and bottom for SADBOIS are really the difference. And look at the pressure in the top lane. Cardinals just takes the turret out from under liposuction lane.
Yeah, Cardinals is just 1v9. If you told me that game 3 was going to be top diff, I might have believed you, but I wouldn't have expected it to be Cardinals. As he's just had so much pressure here, doing extremely well in that matchup.
Ooh, Asher just a little wide, a good little hop from Cockman Suda as he'll pull in Firelight on the Fate's Call. Fate's Call? That sounds wrong now that I said it.
That sounds right. I think that's right.
Yeah, liposuction lane able to flash out of the gank in the top lane as DTS was looking to collapse on him. Lee's actually on the top side. This is just a 2v3 that Cockman Suda is opting into, but Tendy's eliminates him from the map.
What?
Ultimate coming through. This is the Silas Shen ultimate, and now the counter Shen ultimate.
Tendy's is behind though.
Yeah, Tendy's is still looking for this. Hits the Lasher onto DTS. They don't have any CC though, is Lane not able to find that one? That was a really sad bubble. I hate when that happens.
Just barely missed the corner there.
Yeah, meanwhile,
But-
last Spartan Man picks up a Rift Herald on the top side. Lane's looking to turn this one back around. He teleports back into
Oh,
top lane
no.
and then gets onto Cardinals. The Black Shield is
Oh!
super good. Firelight lives for so long underneath the tower.
Tendy's-
Tendy's just takes DTS with him, though, and then Cupper Dang finds Firelight at the end. ROTM find 2 kills. They're going to lose the mid tower, but they gain the bottom tower. This is a mess.
Yeah, just the shooting gallery there under the turret as Zoe and Evelyn just take pot shots and finally end up bringing him down. But all of that started because Karasuda knew that Evelyn was there. Like, Evelyn just doesn't magically disappear. Ends up going a little bit too far forward
Ooh,
and
now
gets
gets
one
stunned under
shot.
the turret. Has the cleanse available. Forced to use it, though. Maximus will get out to safety. Oh, but Cockman Suda is not safe. The poor man. Teleport coming in.
Decidedly
This
the
is
opposite of safe.
DTS. Super Soaker just eliminates the 80 carries. Fuck 80 carries. All my homies hate 80 carries in this game. Tendy's is gonna live. DTS will take the double kill though onto Maximus, excuse me. And yeah.
Tendy's sacrificed his support, but he gets away sitting on 3,000 gold. He's just going to go back here. What's he want to buy? He could go double pen here. He could one buy a Spellbinder. Oh, I mean, that sounds exciting. What's he going to go with?
Banshee Veil.
Banshees. Really? For, like, Morgana binding, I
Yeah.
guess?
It's the least exciting option of the things that you
Yeah,
can,
no, I
but
wanted the Spellbinder, man. You could have even gotten like a Void Staff. Oh my god. Just preempt all of the MR.
meanwhile,
But
Prodigium's just buying a bunch of daggers.
as you do, I mean, or not Tendi's liposuction lane, the top lane is just buying a lot of health crystals.
Yeah, at least he's got the Bramble Vest Tabi. He eventually wound up
Uh,
there. He is
finally.
on the garbage sale build
But,
compared to the Blade of the Ruin
unfortunately-
King Black Cleaver, but
He's been Flame Horizoned before he was able to get it, so just too little too late. Is Firelight able to burn the flash of Zoe there?
yeah, last Spartan Man here gonna
Oh,
kick the
no.
Zoe back into the Dark Biting. That was a nice little CC chain. But Tendies will find another one on the backside. Oh, not quite able to rip through Cockmansuda. He'll dash forward. He actually misses the Q, but the extra Qs, I don't know what to call it. That's a triple kill for Tendies too. Can he win the 1v1 against DTS? The Agony's Embrace has the Shen ultimate on top of him. DTS is super low. Everyone's super low. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Cardinals is looking for the 1v2 with the Cyclone. He'll find Prodigium. He's chunking through Maximus. The shield's just not going to matter. It's a double kill in a 1v2 for Cardinals 29.
Cardinals with the 1v2, Tendi's with the 1v4, or 1v3, 1v a lot. But at the end of the day, it's Cardinals versus Tendies in a way you might not have expected. Both of them just doing so much work here.
Yeah, he's not really wanting to take that particular 1v1 right now, though.
I mean,
Too down.
I think, live life a little. See what you can do, Cardinals. You're a strong boy now. But Tendies is going to find
Oh.
last Spartan, man. We'll see if that Bansheesville is enough to...
Yeah, he's
help
just
him out.
following him around his jungle. Gonna take the Raptors away.
See, and the Knight's Edge is the only thing that saved his life there. He almost certainly would have at least had to burn Flash, if not die there.
Oh, and the Banshee Veil
I guess I take everything back. The Banshees was the 10,000 IQ play.
Anyway, Cloud Dragon gonna be started up and immediately secured. That was super fast. I guess I forget how well Callista does those objectives. Prodigium snared, gonna fall. That was a stand behind me as Maximus gets back out to safety, but Prodigium goes down. They get the second dragon of the game, and they have the inside track. They're headed to Baron, are the SADBOIS.
Yeah, Evelyn is still alive. Evelyn, one of the best smite stealers in the entire game, because with her full combo can do just so much damage. There is a blast plant on the backside of the pit.
Hits
There's
the
a very
vision
real
cone.
chance Tendies can take this.
Yeah, they know he's there. He doesn't have flash, but he has the ultimate to get in. Maximus is chunked really low. Lane with a huge taunt, but there's just no follow-up right now. He doesn't have any damage personally. He'll go down to last Spartan Man as SADBOIS looking to turn. Tendies eliminates Firelight from the map and almost takes Cardinals with him just for collateral damage. It's a 1-for-1 on the kind of sloppy re-engage fight thing that we just had.
So much damage, but I think the right choice there from SADBOIS is going into a 50-50 against an Evelyn isn't really a 50-50.
Tendies looking for DTS, hits the charm, not able to get that CC, gets kicked right back into Cockmansuda. That was really nicely done by last Spartan Man, and it's another shutdown going the way of the Callista. Trying to find some more autos onto Cupper Dang. Apprehend doesn't quite connect, but they'll turn this one back around. That's a huge Braum ultimate. The counter Braum doesn't really matter. Double kill for Maximus.
What a glacial fissure there, as Maximus was able to save Prodigium, who was in a bad spot, but at the end of the day, able to save him and pick up a couple of kills there. And really well done there. Maximus just barely in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, just a huge Braum ultimate. When you're calling out a huge Braum ultimate, you know how impactful it had to be, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was a really good ultimate. RotM able to pick up that tier 1 here. Second turn of the game for them. So a little bit of gold in their pockets. And more importantly, they should get a chance to secure some vision around Baron. We'll see if Maximus feels comfortable enough to do that all on his own. With map hacks, we can tell he'll be safe doing it. He seems comfortable enough.
Yeah.
But so much vision for RotM in that red side jungle of SADBOIS. And Evelyn's creeping here in the mid lane.
Yeah, Evelyn looking for anybody she can find, but there's a lot of vision gathering things available.
Evelyn has
to...
a void staff now. It's just, it doesn't matter who she finds. She's one-shotting him. It's just going to do so much damage. Kakuya Suda has the Negatron cloak. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough.
What is he building with a negative? Is that...
Wit's End, probably. Or he's just going to sit on it.
Yeah.
Going Hex Drinker really feels bad against Evelyn because
You just
if
die
your
before it
Hex Drinker
triggers
pops,
almost.
it's already in the crit range, right? Her ult's going to fucking kill you either way. The only other option would be like a Death Dance.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
it's
Yeah.
Firelight's very dead.
Yeah, Firelight wandered into Evelyn, unfortunately for him. Cardinals,
Oh,
the MVP of game number 3? Not gonna fight it.
liposuction lane. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll get the tower though because his buddy DTS is there. They're pinging this out. Our Maximus and Tendies, they might look to collapse, but
There's a lot of pink wards,
Yeah, there's
though.
3 pink wards on their way to get in here. Yeah, they're just gonna opt to take some of this free gold on the map.
Yeah, the breadcrumb trail of pink words is enough to deter ROTM. It means SADBOIS are able to get the turret and get out alive, which is no small feat against an Evelyn.
Yeah, Cockman Suda taken low, forced to flash away there. That Negatron cloak paying a couple dividends there, allowing him to get the flash off.
Yeah, maybe that's the situation. That's the, maybe I'll be able to instantly flash away. I won't die in under a second.
But we've
Cloud Drake coming up in hair over 30 seconds.
It's super weird these games. We have so much action early on, and then it feels like both of these teams kind of stall out around this time stamp in the game. That 25-minute mark, you hit mid-game. We're not great at playing around objectives, right? We're only really good at fighting, so we just gotta keep doing that. But we can't
I
find
think it
fights
becomes-
reliably. Yeah.
With death timers getting higher, it's kind of hard. And it's kind of scary to look for fights here because if you end up losing one, it means either a massive objective or you might just lose the entire game. So
Yeah, Shen can join
playing a
this
little more
fight.
carefully.
He's separated right now. Cardinals
Oh,
looking for the
Cardinals.
engage. Hits the Cyclone. Not able to get that knock-up onto Tendies thanks to that Banshee Veil. Liposuction Lane hits the ultimate back out to help get some safety, but now the 5v5 is still set up. You're down the Cyclone, but and you're down a couple of ultimates on ROTM. Firelight finds a Dark Binding onto Maximus. Bubble just snakes a little bit wide there. ROTM just burning down this dragon. DTS on the side, so's last Spartan Man. DTS, they'll kick back in. That's a lot of damage off of that kick. DTS finds that one. They execute the Agony's Embrace. The steal for last Spartan Man, and he'll find a couple of kills. SADBOIS running over the fight. That was really awkward. Firelight didn't get thrown all the way over the wall with the Callista ult. He finds the ultimate, the Soul Shackle, forces Pepperdang to flash away, but the return paddle star, just a little bit of damage there.
Oh, much damage. Just not quite able to pick up the kill, but SADBOIS
Yeah,
might
Tendies
be able
is
to
still
catch him in
hanging around.
transition.
Yeah, they're looking for the transition to Baron. They know that Prodigium and Liposuction Lane aren't on the map. However, Tendies is alive. He doesn't have the ult to get into the pit. He's got to walk in. He's got no blast plant. He sees that. He sees the vision plant. 5,000 health. How's he going to get in? He's walking around.
can't
3,000
get in.
health. 2,000 on it. Cupperdang hits a smite. They're going to get 2 kills. They lose the Baron, though. SADBOIS do secure it. They'll take one back as they do take down Zoe. It's Baron to SADBOIS. That's good. Firelight.
Ooh.
Forced to flash away.
Yeah, and Tendies, unfortunately, no flash, no ult, no blast plant, no way of getting into that pit. And the secure comes over from last Spartan Man as SADBOIS are able to secure the Baron onto 3 different players. So see how much they're able to get off of that, how much pressure they're able to apply with it.
Whew. All right. About a 5,000 gold lead for SADBOIS. They have the Baron buff now. They really need to start pushing down these towers. We haven't seen a whole lot of them fall really in any of the games by this point. I think other than the big snowball, it's been kind of low tower games.
Yeah, no, lots of fights, not a whole lot of objectives after the fights.
Yeah, Tendies is hanging around. He's found DTS, not able to find that charm. But now liposuction lane may be in trouble in the bottom lane as the Cyclone's starting to chase him down. A lot of damage from Cardinals as he's chunking through this armor. He tries to ult away, but it's not going to matter as Cardinals takes that one down with a little bit of assistance from Firelight.
Yeah, just too late on that. Unfortunately, Wukong can ult twice, so the interruption, you have to wait a long time before trying to teleport out. And
Tendies
Oh,
is going to
no.
find Cockman Suda. He gets the red buff and then passes it right back over to the Evelynn. Now last Spartan Man in trouble as well. More Qs coming through. This is just really difficult. They need to find anything. The Ashero sails just a little bit wide. Firelight playing aggressive, has the Soul Shackles available. They'll get the binding onto Maximus, dash back out, but it's DTS on the front line. Meanwhile, Firelight falls on the backside to Tendies. Tendies still looking for more. They can't find anything. It comes up ROTM on this trade, but Cardinals takes the tower down on the bottom end. He's forced Cupperdang and Liposuction lane down to this bottom lane to deal with him by himself.
yeah, it's 10 seconds on Karasuda, 30 seconds on anyone important after that. So this should at least be the inhibitor going over for ROTM.
Why
See
you
if they
gotta do
try and
Firelight
push
like that?
Firelight has been playing extremely well this series, but unfortunately not a major damage source this game. Not a major threat in that way. But
So it's a mid lane inhibitor for RTM. Yeah, they'll shrink that gold gap down to about 3,000, or I guess 2,500 now would be a more accurate statement. I haven't put timers up for any of these games. I'm sorry, my bad. No one's flamed me though, so you all are really the ones who are bad. 3 minutes on Baron, 1 minute on the Cloud Dragon. That would represent Cloud's soul. Not the best, not the worst soul right now for.
I think Cardinals
people-
would be pretty happy to pick that up.
Yeah, people always say not the worst. I think it is the worst soul, but it's still pretty good, right? Liposuction lane is in trouble. Cardinals has a lot of dashes. Doesn't have the flash available, and he's going to opt off of that. All right.
Yeah, and Cardinals is just oh my
god. All right, well.
That's an amount of damage. That's a very reasonable amount of damage.
He still hasn't finished his boots, is the funniest thing to me. I don't know why that tickles me, but...
Why does he even need boots? Like, just sell boots for a Spellbinder.
Asher
There's
coming
Agile.
next. They're going to get the Fate's Call back in. This is the teleport. Cardinals has to make his stand here. He has Cyclone available. Are they going to pull the trigger? Are they just going to give up this dragon? 10 seconds, and now RTM have forced their way in.
It's 5v4. RTM isn't actually pushing for anything important. I think he just gives the dragon.
DTS has
Like, why
teleport
risk it?
10. Yeah.
If you die, you lose the game. There are two supers pushing in mid-wave. Like, you can't fight here. You have to give the dragon over.
So, Cloud Soul delayed. A second dragon going to ROTM. And now the objective is going to be that Baron buff in 90 seconds. Appreciate you, Tom and Jacob. Jackamum? Jackamum. My bad. My badness is correct.
Are you having trouble with the Twitch chat names?
I glance over there with my eye, like, very briefly, and I was like, oh yeah, that just says Jacob. It doesn't say Jacob, it says Jackamum. Oh, Tendies! He gets caught by the Cyclone. Can Cardinals finish him off? It's the shutdown. The hero. Cardinals 6-2 now. Maximus in trouble. He flashes away. More damage coming down. Do they have the chase? DTS should have that abscond and abduct coming through. They'll hit more CC onto him. Red turret is destroyed as Liposuction lane takes the tier 1 up in top lane. Brombolt sails just a little bit wide, but they will finally track down Maximus. That's two really important members off the map, though, as Tendies and Maximus aren't. And 35 seconds on the Baron. Tendies will be up in time for that. He'll have the speed boost from that passive. It's good picks, but it's not quite the window that they needed.
Yeah, that said, Maximus won't be up. It'll be a little bit difficult for him to get there if they do start it on the timer. They're headed over that direction. If nothing else, they get a lot of vision around there. They still need to clear out that pink in the back of the pit. But by the way, it's an opportunity. It's a way back into this game, as every single fight before this, for the last few minutes, had been going ROTM's way. It's a teleport coming in from Liposuction lane. And they're starting up the Baron.
Yeah, they're starting this up. No Fear looking for it. Binding connects onto Prodigium. Tendies isn't quite here. Now he's able to join the fray. 5,000 health on the Baron. It's getting low. What will we see? Tendies is in. He's not able to steal it, though. It's secured by Last Spartan Man. They'll kick through. Liposuction lane taken low. Firelight in stasis. They find Tendies. They take him down. Prodigium falls as well. In the pit, though, Last Spartan Man gets taken down as well as Cockman Suda. They'll continue fighting as Liposuction lane is the next victim of the fight. Cardinals is huge. Cardinals jumps in onto Cupperdang. He'll flash over the wall. Maximus, the last one alive for ROTM in the pit as Cupperdang flashes away. They'll come away with the Baron and 4 kills. SADBOIS now win a big fight.
And notoriously so difficult to beat Evelyn in a smite fight, but Tendies too wasn't able to combo it correctly, and it means Last Spartan Man somehow able to pick up that Baron, and wow, even afterwards able to win the fight. Just Cardinals 29 has just been so impactful this game, doing so much damage, really carrying the backside of these fights. Just an absolute monster on this Wukong pick. You know, they found it last game, and you know, it seems to be doing them a lot of good. That's the Baron over to them. We'll see if everyone coming back up, if they're looking to pressure now.
Yeah, the only thing they got off of their last Baron was a bottom lane tier 2 tower that Cardinals got while he was separated from the rest of the team. He's got teleport up in a couple of seconds, so he could rejoin, maybe look for a fight. Tendies is actually behind. Cupperdang gets caught. Tendies might be able to collapse, though. That's a huge shield from the Shen. Prodigium is going to die as a result of everybody else. Firelight gets a big knock up, the kick back in. A lot of damage coming through. Tendies falls. They find the picks that they need. 2 more kills for Last Spartan Man. And now the push in for SADBOIS on the inhibitor, on the inner turret. The inhibitor turret will be next. I thought that was Evelyn for a second on the minimap. It's Braum that's walking in to cut the minion wave and try to prevent them from getting everything. Maximus gets bound up, but SADBOIS... That was really weird. I thought they might have DC'd for a second. He's just trying to buy time.
Standing still.
They'll take him down. Last Spartan Man on a killing spree. Cupperdang, the last bastion of hope for ROTM. Prodigium is up in 10. I don't think it's going to be enough. It looks like SADBOIS have done it. That's a really good binding by Firelight. And now the turrets will fall. Nexus falls for game number 3. SADBOIS to match point. 2-1.
Wow, and after a game that was all ROTM in the mid game, just 2 catches in the last few minutes, you know, spearheaded by Firelight and DTS there, as they were able to get so much damage onto Zoe and start out that end fight, and just so well done by SADBOIS to secure that in the end on the back of Last Spartan Man and Cardinals 29. Just so well done. Wow.
Yeah, Cardinals, I think gets my MVP, gets the hearts of the fans for that game. Really nicely done. 8-2 and 8 on the Wukong. Yeah. Let's head to game 4. Give me just a break to catch my breath. Oh, I need to change my thing, but yeah, we'll be right back with game number 4. Yep, this one.
Wait, Marksy on Twitter is so toxic. What the hell?
I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Oh, this is weird.
What's up?
This is just supposed to be like a soundtrack.
Uh-huh.
But it was the like Star Guardian cinematic, which I think has music in it eventually, but it was just them fighting. So I come back and all I hear is just like
Okay. Ooh.
Alright.
Okay, so we needed a minute after that game. So we're
Okay.
going into game 4. Same sides. ROTM, they had side selection this time around, so opting for blue side again. Which is an interesting choice. We'll see what they go for. Graves ban. I think it's been banned every game by ROTM. And then spoiler alert for SADBOIS, that's going to be Jax, Aurelia, and Riven, right?
Yeah. And this will be
Lilia
Graves,
ban.
Lilia, and then I wonder if they'll change it up.
So Evelyn is open. Wukong. It's potentially something you have to think about. Is that something that Cardinals has had a pretty massive impact on over the last couple games? See what they opt into here. Bard has been the ban the last few times, and it looks like it'll be another Bard ban.
Yeah, I think I want to see Tendies back in the top lane against Cardinals. I think he can find a matchup into Wukong that is successful. I feel like you've got a better chance to win that way. I don't know if that's 100% agreed, but
How does Renekton do?
does Tendies
That
play
feels
Renekton?
like a... who doesn't play Renekton? I don't know. It feels like it would be a Tendies type of champion. But... Gosh, I don't know what else you would play into it. I don't think Akali was the answer. Camille sounds like an unfun matchup. Not sure. Kaisa locked in for Karasuda, not opting for the Kalista, which had a pretty good... Well, early game the Ashe and Braum did pretty well, but Karasuda did a pretty good job coming back after that. And then late game wasn't able to have as much of an impact. This time around, Kaisa. And then Lee Sin again for last Spartan Man. He was just an absolute monster in that last game. Definitely an extremely strong champion for him. That said, Evelyn's left up. Last Spartan Man didn't want to pick it, so maybe they're asking ROTM like, hey, if you want to pick it, you can pick it again. We're leaving it up for you.
Volibear actually doesn't give away anything. That could be... I mean, it's liposuction lane playing it, right?
Yeah,
but it could be jungle or top.
Where it's going. Yeah. That doesn't seem like a Tendies type of champion.
Maybe he'll surprise us.
Does Tendies play Vladimir?
I haven't
That's
seen
like
it.
the other TF Blade champion, right? It's like Vladimir.
He played Nico the other day, and that was kind of surprising to me. He did really well.
On hit or Glacial?
Glacial.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, this looks normal from SADBOIS. The Leona is really interesting though from Maximus. More of an engage style to pair with that Ashe. Just a ton of CC.
So, what I really like about this is that then SADBOIS have to make a choice. Do you take the Morgana to counter the Leona and then let Wukong get banned? Or do you take the Wukong and let Morgana get banned? Because I imagine we have to see a Morgana ban here, right? Firelight was so impactful on it. Yeah, there it is. I kind of like that. You're making SADBOIS have to choose between the Wukong or the Morgana.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting as well because Tendies doesn't have a champion locked in, right?
Oh, Fiora.
So there you
Fiora
go.
could have been a sick matchup into Wukong, actually.
I actually don't know that
wonder-
I've seen him play Fiora. Is kind of weird, right?
Yeah, but it's like a Tendies champion, right?
It feels like a Tendies champion. Again, I've never seen it. Like I don't
He has to
implicitly
have an
know
account
that
that he's like secretly a Fiora one trick on. Alistar into Leona. Ooh, I want to see a Sylas pick here. Does Cupperdang play Sylas? Does Tendies play Sylas? Oh, that's the matchup.
Tendies played Sylas jungle when it was a thing. I don't know if he's played it top lane or if that even particularly matters.
So Sylas with Alistar is just so good. The ult makes you entirely unkillable, and it seems like it should be a good matchup for Wukong.
Malzahar
here.
blind for Cupperdang.
That's something Cupperdang has played quite a bit of in the past. So and I don't hate it as a blind pick.
This
See what they lock in for
yeah,
10
this
deeps.
pick. I'm like nervous for this pick. I want to see what it is. Rengar. All right. That still doesn't clear up if this is top or mid. But Tendies will be playing Rengar. Lane will be playing Volibear. They have the furry combo in the top and jungle.
Yeah, I mean, so we saw Rengar top. I believe Whippo played that earlier today in Fnatic G2, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and
So-
game number 1, I think that they won.
Seems like a fucking terrible matchup in Wukong, though.
The Azir for DTS is kind of interesting. He's got an easier time breaking that Malzahar shield. Yeah.
Yeah, Zero Wall makes champions like Rengar, like, well, I suppose Volibear can ult through it, but, you know, make him a little bit sad. I don't hate the pick. You know, it's a more traditional front-to-back type of composition, you know, compared to the Evelyn Shaco that we saw earlier, right?
Yeah.
So, Tendies too. So, bets now. Do you think it's Volibear jungle or Rengar jungle?
I think it's Rengar jungle. I don't have any particular confidence in that, honestly. I think that the Volibear he wanted into Wukong, I don't think Rengar does super well into Wukong.
That doesn't sound like a good matchup, but I feel like Rengar's going to return to the top lane.
Okay,
feel
well,
it.
we'll find out
We'll
in 3
see.
minutes.
Yeah.
um,
True.
yeah, it is kind of hard to talk about matchups and things without knowing that vital piece of information. So,
Yeah. Let me message Tendies real quick and just ask him who has Smite.
do you have Smite? Yeah. Can you, in the client, when you're picking, can you see the summoner spells? I know you used to be able to.
I'm not sure.
Or I
which
guess you
one
can't
mean.
see your enemy summoner spells. No.
No, you
never mind.
definitely can't.
Until
so-
like 0 seconds, and then it shows them, and then you go into game or something weird. Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not sure I've ever noticed it, but yeah, it's definitely. Rengar for Tendies is the champion that we're pulling out in match point here. If SADBOIS is able to take it, they could take the whole thing.
Yeah, they'll take home the 75 big buckaroos, and they'll be back next. Well, whenever we decide to do another one, it'll probably be 2 weeks, but I don't know for sure.
So the other thing, just looking at the, you know, running down the list of champions, Rengar into Alistar just sounds miserable. Yeah, I don't know how Rengar's going to be able to exist in this game unless he, you know, if he gets like a Giga Fed at the beginning of the game, then it just doesn't matter, right? But
Yeah, it doesn't matter which champions are on the enemy team. You're just fed Rengar. You are the
Yeah,
stabby tabby.
Stabby Tabby, the knife cat.
Mhm.
If he does go Rengar top, do you think we'll see the return to the, God, what was the name? Ryan Choi? Is that the Rengar player that went like 6 Dorans every
Yeah,
game?
you just go Doran's Blades. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Walker, Texas, Rengar. How many more?
How many more Rengar puns can we come up with?
This is only
before the-
game 4. This all goes downhill even more when we hit game 5. Thanks,
Oh no.
thanks for bearing with us, anybody who's watching. Yeah, I already lost my train of thought, what I was going to say. Let's talk about bottom lane. Ash Leona versus Kaisa Alistar is kind of interesting.
So Kaisa Alistar has the synergy where Alistar is very quick to stack up Kaisa's passive, right? That's sort of when you're going back to when Kaisa was super meta relevant. Alistar was a pretty good support to be paired along with it. That said, Leona going in, I'm not sure how this matchup necessarily goes. Just based off of ADC strength in the early game, I would assume that it's favored towards the Ashe. I imagine that the supports are probably pretty You give or take, like they're probably both similar power level.
Yeah,
And
I just feel
for
like
loading in.
it's who gets on top of the other 80 carry better
See, I feel
in any
like if
given
Leona
fight.
goes on to Kai'Sa, then like Alistar can just like headbutt her into next year. Then
Yeah.
she can't really do much. But as we're getting to the loading screen, we see Rengar did opt for the smite, so going back into the jungle in liposuction lane with the Volibear matchup into Wukong, see if he's able to have a bit more success this time around. That does seem like an okay matchup for Volibear.
Yeah.
Um,
I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you that I was right.
uh, I can confirm you were indeed correct in this instance. You usually are correct, so
Wow,
nothing new there.
that's really nice of you to say. Halo Blades on Kai'Sa is kind of an interesting keystone, right? You
Tons of
can.
burst.
Mhm.
And the big thing is, if you end up going for the Guinsoo's Rage Blade, it helps you to stack that passive up really fast. It's kind of a cool little tech on Kai'Sa. I don't know if it's necessarily the best, just because PTA is going to, out damage every single time. But in shorter trades, and such, it's probably pretty good.
Yeah. Did you know that when you're loading into a TFT game, you're coded as loading into a game as KDA Kai'Sa?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Why is
When your
that?
client breaks every once in a while, which happens, you'll see the loading screen for TFT, and every player it's 8 KDA Kaisas. I don't know
Huh.
why that is. I'm sure it's something to do with transitioning between the game client and the non-game client, but
I mean, the TFT developers were probably just really big fans of KDA Kaisa. Uh, those skins came out about the same time that TFT did, right?
that,
It probably makes sense.
or like right after, probably when they were developing, because they developed it like super fast, right? Anyway, welcome in game number 4 on Summoner's Rift. Not on TFT, unfortunately. God, I don't think I could talk about TFT for that long.
Wait, if they end up tying and we go into a game 5, do we actually just do like an 8-man CFT?
Yeah,
Is that the tiebreaker?
pick your weakest TFT player. They have to sit out. All right. Or we'll just stack it for RTM. Give us 5. You can have 3. Good luck. Anyway, blue side of the rift for game number 4 is going to be Return of the Middle Sticks. Red side of the rift is SADBOIS, and everybody gonna play nice. We're not gonna do a creative invade again onto Rengar.
And SADBOIS is on match point if they're able to secure this, and that means it's the end of the fight night, and they will have emerged victorious. I kind of liked there for a second. We were looking at the Rengar Volibear, and the colors of their skins were very coordinated. It's very much like a purple blue. And that sort of synergy is what you like to see. Uh, I think that's a
Oh yeah,
very.
look, even Prodigium. That's very
Oh
nice.
wait, they all went for purple, and Malzahar just is purple. Oh, he opted for the Snow Day skin. Wow, Cup or Dang, just letting the whole team down with the skin choice.
It's not that bad though. Like he's a little lighter blue, sure, but he's got the purple hands and
He
coat.
could have been base Malzahar, and that's just super purple,
Yeah,
right? Like,
but
I think he ended.
you have to flex the wallet on him, right?
Uh,
Anyway,
I,
he's gonna get shoved in really hard early on in that matchup, and then once he starts getting a couple of levels in his space aids, he can start doing things.
oh, and already the Volibear. Such fun interactive trading patterns. Oh, Cardinals went
Cardinals is trying,
relatively
yeah.
even there.
Yeah, kind of
Copper
interesting.
Dang.
Cupper Dang
Go
went
ahead.
for the curtains rather than the voidlings at level 2, which means that he's gonna still have trouble pushing. But we'll see if that even matters. Maximus goes for the Zenith Blade and forces the flash out of Cockman Suda in the bottom lane.
Respect flash there from Cockman Suda. The level 2 had been reached by ROTM. This is a similar thing that happened last game, where ROTM was able to get the level 2 first with the Braum Ash and just chase them down. This time around, Cockman Suda just burning the flash instantly, doesn't want to lose his entire HP bar, and already pressure here in the bottom lane. That's a lot of what you get when you get this Ashe pick. Just so strong in the laning phases. Firelight is able to engage. Leona is standing within range and asking for him to engage on her, but opting not to.
Oh! Flash forward the headbutt back. Prodigium in so much trouble. Gets the passive popped on, and Last Spartan Man doesn't even need to be involved. First blood to Firelight. Last Spartan Man hits the resonating strike, but Maximus will just be able to go back to base.
And Prodigium, the Leona's allowed to stand in Alistar range. You as the Ashe are not. Really well played there by Firelight, taking advantage of the dance spam there from Ashe to get first blood.
Yeah, that's rough. No honor among thieves, I guess.
Yeah. As we see in the chat, RTM's not too happy about that one, Using the BM.
Well, they do spot Lee Sin on the bottom side, so that means we're going to trade red side jungles, at least initially, as Tendies heads up to take some Raptors and Krugs up on that top side.
Yep, Tendies happy to be able to just farm all that up. Pick up the CS he can. Rengar is pretty strong in the early game if he's able to have somebody walk into him, but on his own, trying to engage stuff. Not the best at ganking. Pre-6. And I like that from Cupperdang, was able to use the minions to dissuade any sort of a Q from Lee Sin.
Yeah, that's going to be a really nice interaction, especially later on in the game. Any champion with like just a linear skill shot, you can help block with the Voidlings.
Exactly. It's sort of like the Heimerdinger turrets. You can sometimes throw them out there to tank skill shots for you. As we see the recall here from Rengar, no Doran's Blades, but quite a few long swords. Knifecat is always happy to collect the long swords.
Yeah, kind of interesting. Cockman Suda with the back buys the
Pickaxe?
pickaxe. I couldn't think of that name
I
for
mean,
a second.
that means we're looking at a Mana Moon A, right? Or a Mana? Whichever one the first one is. I'd say almost certainly we're looking at that.
Yeah, meanwhile, Prodigium on that forced recall, only able to buy the coal, so just looking to farm it up for a while. Has to be really careful about Firelight on this Alistar. Gets the knock up, just going to knock Maximus into the wall now with that combo down. Maximus in trouble, but it's going to force the TP out. They're looking to turn this back around. Ignite onto Last Spartan Man. Liposuction lane is here, and he will successfully turn that one around. Now DTS looking for Maximus. Hits a couple of Sand Soldiers, not quite enough damage. Knifecat's here. Bola not quite able to connect. Teleport coming in from Cardinals, but he's just going to run away immediately afterwards. A lot of bodies moving back and forth, but no one going to fall as a result of that.
And what a great teleport there from Liposuction lane, able to dissuade the gank and end up picking up a kill on the Last Spartan Man, slowing down what has been extremely aggressive Lee Sin. 2 teleports in return coming in from SADBOIS as Azir and Wukong ended up coming down. Not a whole lot accomplished there, as Azir also had to burn his flash, but at the end of the day, that's, point in favor of ROTM as they're able to pick up to 1 for 0.
Yeah, and Cupperdang still holds on to his teleport. He can scoot a boot back to mid lane if he wants to, which he's going to, and kind of burn that last available teleport on the map.
Yeah, but with that, he's able to match the Lost Chapter recall, which Lost Chapter very good for Malzahar. Gives you extra pushing power and means you aren't going to run out of mana instantly. It's Firelight. Oh no.
Oh, he's found Prodigium again. More autos in, and Cockman Suda takes the kill. 1-0-1 now on the Kai'Sa.
That was actually a really cool alcove play where there with the Hex Splash from Firelight. Firelight has just been a beast in this entire series, just so good on whatever champion he's playing. Even in the game that they lost, his Pyke just had so much pressure. Firelight's just, extremely good.
Yeah, he's really good at League of Legends.
Tower play going over here to Karasuda.
Oh, Tendies is looking for it. They have Maximus available as well. They actually engage onto Firelight, interestingly. Now we'll jump forward onto Cockman Suda. They tried to burn that combo. This is maybe a little bit too greedy from Tendies. Yeah, it splits the damage, and instead of getting 2 kills, they get 0.
Yeah, just The initial engage going on to Alistar, I wonder if he was expecting to get headbutted back instantly. I don't know, just splitting so much of the damage there means that he doesn't pick up anything, and that's not what you're looking for is the first ult from a Rengar. You know, that first ult with Rengar, with Nocturne, these are the types of champions that usually just want to farm up, hit 6, and then start snowballing from there. When the first ult doesn't go well, it sort of, you know, sets a bad taste in your mouth as you're worried about the rest of them.
Oh, Maximus kind of walks into DTS a little awkwardly there. They both were like, oh, wait, you're not supposed to be here? All right, well, cool. But Lane and Cardinals going to continue scrapping up in the top lane. Already the Bramble Vest for Liposuction Lane, and you can see that start to come through in these trades. Going to force the Cyclone out of him. He still has the ultimate available to jump forward. Forces the Flash out of Cardinals. This looks a lot better than last game for Liposuction Lane.
I like that he's smurfing the itemization this time around, picking up the Bramble Vest. You see Wukong looking
He still
for
has that
the
Ruby
board.
Crystal.
You know, it was extra money. You know, this time around it's not going into a Titanic, right? So I'm happy with the Bramble Vest. You know, if he picks up Tabai right here, Cardinals will never be able to kill him. Like, actually impossible to kill him.
He actually doesn't have enough money, which is maybe the unfortunate
Well, I just
part.
mean,
Yeah.
you know, that should be. Oh,
Shuffle
he has...
in. Firelight is over the wall. Oh, just not quite the right on there. Uses the ult to break the suppression. They will finally finish him off, but it's a kill for Tendies on the backside. He flashes in. That was super weird, but it's a double kill for Tendies as Last Spartan Man follows the resonating strike into the flash of Tendies into the tower.
And perhaps just not being super used to playing against Alistar, hasn't been meta relevant in a while. Cupperdang went for the ult, and Alistar just sort of used the cleanse on the ult to get out. And I don't think that they're going to have enough damage here. But Tendies too, at the end of that play, using the flash cleverly to make sure that Last Spartan Man ends up eating another turret shot, is able to pick up 2 kills, which is extremely good for him. We'll see what he ends up picking up here. I imagine Serrated Dirk and a couple more longswords. Oh, Pog. I can see into the future.
Yeah, long swords are the key. I will buy them.
Yeah. Let's see. The Rengar way is no jungle item, just build many longswords. It's usually pretty effective.
So 3-3, small gold lead right now for the SADBOIS. Cardinals just jumps in. He's getting the better of these trades. Liposuction Lane didn't get the shields. He's been using that clone really nicely, though.
What I like here, though, is that Cardinals did have a CS lead close to about 15 a couple minutes ago. Ever since the solo, or I'm sorry, he didn't pick up a solo kill, but after that fight onto Cardinals, pushing him out of lane, Liposuction Lane has closed that gap, and you know, even had a CS lead there for a bit. Cardinals gonna pick up this wave and probably feel pretty good about himself, but
yeah,
very
DTS
close
looking
there.
for more.
Yeah.
Shuffles Cupperdang back in, more CC just bouncing everywhere. He's going to burn the ultimate onto Firelight, but Tendies jumps in looking for Last Spartan Man, trying to find the safety of that bush to jump back in, but he's not going to find it as DTS takes that one down. Now Liposuction Lane in a little bit of trouble in that top lane. He's got the ultimate available. We're going to watch Firelight headbutt Maximus back in. Do they actually have the damage to kill this Leon? It looks like they do off of the knock-up, and DTS is now pretty big. 3-1 on the Azir. Lane forced to ult in that top lane to survive the onslaught of Cardinals, and both top laners going to back off as well.
Yeah, and that fight in the top lane, both top laners deciding to just walk away after the cooldowns have been burnt. You know, extremely even there right now. The CS is dead even. And even after that fight in the mid lane here, our CS going in favor, not our CS, I'm sorry, our gold lead going in favor of SADBOIS. About 2.5k gold lead. Most of that sitting on this Azir, who's well on his way to the Nashor's Tooth. Might have enough to complete it here. It's really close. I think he has enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's able to pick that up and some booties. He's feeling really good about himself. That Lost Chapter for early mana. And then the Ludens, or not the Ludens, the Lost Chapter.
Cupperdang was looking for that turret plate and winds up finding a big trade for his trouble off of DTS's teleport. Firelight just beating around Maximus underneath this tower to pretty much no effect as they'll take a plate themselves.
Yep. And Cupperdang is just going to be having a lot of trouble in this mid lane after so much pressure has been applied onto him from Last Spartan Man, from Firelight. In the last few minutes, he's died a couple times and is going to have a lot of trouble with dealing with the Azir now.
Yeah.
Usually as Malzahar, you sort of hit a break point where you press all your buttons on the wave and then walk away. You know, hoping that he can hit that point. That way he doesn't have to deal with
DTS
this.
hits the shuffle back in. Doesn't quite have the damage. Not an extra Q on that on the Sand Soldier. Last Spartan Man hanging around. So is Tendies. The supports are going to get collapsed on Maximus is in trouble. Forced to flash over that wall. Last Spartan Man jumps over, looking. Now this is kind of really awkward. Last Spartan Man finds the Krug. I think he thought he hit Leona there for a second. Kicks her back in. Firelight Hex flashes over the wall. The headbutt out to safety, though, from Firelight. Prodigium hits the volley. Jump in from Tendies. Gets the cleanse for a little bit of safety. Cockman Suda pretty low. There's a flash over the wall from Liposuction Lane as he's teleported in. They'll headbutt back in Tendies. So low. Cupperdang gets a kill, but it's 2 for Last Spartan Man. But now Prodigium finds another one in return. 2 for 2 on that fight. Liposuction Lane still looking for more. Hits the stun onto Last Spartan Man. Kicks in. They're going to be able to take him down. The extra help not able to keep him. But now the teleport in from Cardinals. Big Cyclone onto 2. They'll find both kills. It's a double kill for DTS.
And what started as SADBOIS just going too far there in the bottom lane, a good response from RotM picking up a couple kills, then turns into RotM going too far, just chasing a little bit too hard, ends up giving over a couple kills back to SADBOIS, and SADBOIS picking up the dragon, picking up the kills, now looking at, what, 3.5k gold lead, feeling pretty good about themselves as this Azir is just absolutely massive now.
Yeah, and again, this is match point for SADBOIS. They win, we're done. They get $75. They come back here in a week or two to take on our next challenger. And they're in the driver's seat. 5-1 on Azir. He picks up a QSS. I don't know if you mentioned that. I feel like you did, but...
I hadn't.
Okay.
I was about to. I was thinking about it. You felt it. But... no, he picks up that QSS, and, you know, that just means that what little... options
they find Maximus. That's a big headbutt back in. The Solar Flare's big. They turn it back around. Cockman Suda gets taken down by Prodigium. But now the... what?
Oh, he jumps straight into the Rengar.
He jumped back over. Tendies takes him down, but Last Spartan Man trades it back in. I was at a loss for words for just a second. Now Maximus is going to fall to the trample damage? No, not quite. As Cupperdang is here. Prodigium not quite able to find that last auto onto the Alistar. Everybody's super low, but it goes in a little bit in favor of the SADBOIS.
Poor Azir, he sees the Rengar ultimate above his head. He goes back to try and find the safety of his jungler and ends up going straight into the Rengar. Ends up dying, a massive shutdown going over to Rengar. And all of that off of an engage onto Maximus. Honestly, Leona just so tanky, was able to turn it back around and completely burst out Cockman Suda, going a little bit too aggressive while the cleanse is on cooldown.
Yeah, it was a really big solar flare to help turn that one from Maximus, and you know, they're still fighting ROTM, but they actually still come out at a numbers disadvantage from that last fight. Why is Karsuda not hitting that ward? Is he DC'd?
He's typing. He's
Oh,
probably...
okay.
He must be shit-talking someone. Oh, shit. Okay, how long on Dragon? I don't have the timers up.
240. Still a while.
240 on Dragon. It's Ocean Drake, though. I think every single game has had...
We had
an
a Cloud
Ocean
Soul
Soul,
last
right?
game. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't
it
remember what
feels
game one
like
was.
they're all Ocean.
I don't mind. Give us the Therapy Rift.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Just not into that.
No, I agree. I was...
Yeah, Cardinals and Last Spartan Man trying to find Liposuction Lane. Ultimate gonna at least get rid of one of those knockups. Gets the shield from the E, gets kicked back in, but Tendies is here. They'll turn that one back around. It's really bizarre. Every team that's pulled the... normally the team that initiates wins, right? But it seems like every team that initiates in this game has come out behind. Cardinals is going to fall as Tendies will take that one home. His 4th kill of the game. Prodigium trying to clear mid against DTS, and Cupper Dang stuck in a 1v2 in the bottom lane. It's 2 kills. It's going to be a turret in mid, though, for DTS. That's pretty important.
Yep, first charge of the game going over to him, and if you press X real quick, you see 2,500 gold lead just sitting in the pocket of that Azir over the Malzahar. He's just so massive right now. The game is in his hands. So much of the power on his team is in his hands. And you wouldn't want it on a champion other than Azir.
Yeah.
You see, Kurasuda's walking up a bit too far. Ooh, just barely playing the range well enough that Cufferdang wasn't able to get the ult off on him. But there's a lot of people coming to collapse on Cufferdang.
Yeah, he needs to be very careful. The recollapse isn't going to be here in time, though, as he'll go forward onto Cufferdang, gets the knock-up. DTS shoves him back the other way, cancels the Malzahar ult. He's trying to walk back around the Azir wall, trying to turn some damage back. Tendies will jump in. He'll trade 1 for 1, get knocked back into the team. Cockman Suda trying to chunk through. He'll jump into the bush. Just has enough damage to finish off Tendies.
Yeah, just barely there. The Rengar not quite enough damage. Even with Karasu starting off that whole fight at little to no HP. Ooh, last Spartan man, probably the first, not great kick of the series for him.
Yeah, he's been really on point though, so don't let that one cloud.
Well, that's why I said it's
the
the first.
Yeah.
He's had several extremely good ones. But I like that dive there. The 2 people that were diving under turret, one of them's an Alistar who can cleanse the Malzahar ult with his ult. The other one's a Steer who bought a QSS and, in fact, ended up buffering the ultimate in such a way that he ended up canceling the Malzahar ult. He ended up self-canceling, which, is pretty cool there. But a good dive.
Yeah, now this dragon up, Prodigium kind of hunting around, seeing if anybody's doing it currently. Finds a bunch of pink wards for his trouble. But here comes the team to collapse. Liposuction Lane has teleport, so does Cardinals 29. They're the 2 that are kind of separated from the fight right now. Karasuda maybe a little bit late to it. Ash Arrow going to land, and they'll immediately take down the jungler. DTS will shift himself back out to safety, but that should be the dragon for RTM.
Yeah, and Tendi's showing this Rengar just does so much damage, has multiple lethality items. Someone set up for him with the Ash ult, they are going to die. Now, even with the Edge of Night, Azir wasn't able to instantly ult him away. Really good choice there in itemization that just makes it that much harder to deal with this Rengar. You see him spreading out. Bot lane's assigned to the mid lane now, as often is in the mid game. They'll probably ping pong a couple of waves back to each other here, as stepping all the way up and trying to hit the turret might be a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, it's weird to think we're at 26 kills at 20 minutes. This game's been quite a bit slower than our other ones have been.
Yeah, it's been a little quiet. It's in spurts, it goes spurts of action.
Anyway, just clearing out some jungle camps. We've hit our lull for the game. Baron is up, but I don't think either team can really do it. We've got 4 minutes on Dragon. This will be some nice ping-pong waves. We'll see if Firelight can make a play. He's headed toward that bottom lane to make a play with DTS onto Cupperdang. We'll see if he sniffs it out. He's backed up off of the wave pretty significantly, but Firelight comes in with a full head of steam and a Righteous Glory in step, and Cupperdang is no match for the output of DTS. Last Spartan man forced to jump in, but Tendies didn't want him. He found Cockman Suda instead. A good Zenith Blade will find another as Prodigium picks that one up. Lane was like, I'm going to dive, guys. All right, well, they're already dead.
That's a lot of damage coming out. This Cardinal's coming in.
Cardinals comes in. Firelight and Cardinals hit the bounce house. They actually take him down. So's DTS is here. They find one, they find 2. The turret falls, but Maximus is the only one alive. He's trying to trade it back. This is just a mess. He gets knocked back around. Liposuction Lane trying to find that last little bit of damage. Can he run away from Firelight? He could turn around on Firelight. He could kill him, but he needs to be careful about Cardinals. Teleport coming in is Cupperdang to help him just survive, and the red buff healing him back up. Let's take stock. That was 3 for 3 with the turret goes to ROTM, I believe.
That sounds just about right. And that started off with Karasuda and Last Spartan, man, dying before the fight even started. So, really ballsy play there by Cardinals 29, as well as, with a little bit of backup from Firelight and DTS to teleport in and take that fight, and they're able to come out on top. Really salvage what could have been a major issue, as the Rift Herald was also there. If they don't make that play, then RTM almost certainly gets that tier 2 as well.
Yeah, 19-14 in kills, about 1,000 gold lead now for SADBOIS. Tendies is, oh, he wasn't quite patient enough. He could have had himself a Lee Sin breakfast there, but jumps onto the crab instead.
Yeah, breakfast the crab is it's all right as well.
Is crab like a breakfast item?
I mean,
living in Missouri here, is crab a breakfast
I
item?
mean, I don't think it necessarily is, but I think that you could have crab breakfast. I don't see a reason why not. Who makes the law that you can't have crab for breakfast?
Yeah, I guess I haven't heard that specific one. I'm sure my mom would be mad about that, but she's not here.
About crab for breakfast?
About other things for breakfast, mac and cheese, not a breakfast. That didn't even look like it hit Karasuda. He just died. Cupperdang's in trouble, though.
Flash auto attacks.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cupperdang is very dead. As we see, it seems about every 2 minutes he's getting caught in a side lane.
Yeah, normally Malzahar you think of as a pretty safe side laner, but that has not been the case this game. Firelight initiates on a Prodigium. Maximus not quite able to find that kick, buffered just a little bit by a sidestep from Maximus. Firelight's pretty low. Tendies gets collapsed on by Cardinals. He's running back the wrong way, though. He's running to liposuction lane. He'll turn that one back around, but it's 2 kills for SADBOIS instead. DTS trying to find some auto attacks, but Prodigium now, not quite able to get the shuffle. I think he was trying to hit the E, but didn't have it up. Yeah.
I like the idea, just it didn't work out. It looks a little bit funny.
Yeah.
But this Baron started for SADBOIS.
Yeah, Lane spots him out with that E. I believe that gives vision. Prodigium's on the other side, but Kakmi and Suda might be able to collapse on their collapse, so they need to be pretty careful. Yeah, Kai'Sa's not really able to join right now. Has the Killer Instinct available, though. And they'll finish off the Baron and give Lee Sin a place to jump out to. So, Baron buff for SADBOIS. 2,500 gold lead. RTM looking for that dragon, though.
We'll see if they can secure it. There's a teleport coming in from Azir. This is the strong person on his team. We'll see if he's able to sway the dragon. Doesn't look like it. He's just clearing out that wave. Our team's going to be able to deny SADBOIS soul point.
Yeah, it does set them up with a possible win condition of Ocean Soul now, and it'd be a 4-stack Ocean Soul. They're gonna go for a fight for some reason. DTS actually doesn't hit that shuffle. Tendi's trying to dance in, dance out. He gets kicked back over the wall, but the resonating strike is good enough to finish that one off. Now on the front side of the fight, a bunch of damage just going off. Prodigium gets caught in the middle of a lot of it. Malzahar ult onto last Spartan Man. They're taking him low, but it's not going to matter. It's a double kill for Cardinals. They'll trade one back, but liposuction lane falls. It's an ace, the Bud Light ace, if you will, for SADBOIS, as now they have the Baron buffs available, and it's just a matter of how many turrets will they be able to destroy.
In a team fight that starts out with Tendies almost one-shotting the Azir, almost one-shotting the Karasuda on the Kai'Sa. But unfortunately, there's just no other damage coming in behind him. This Malzahar is sitting on 2 items, and one of them is a Rylai's. Like, there's no real damage there. Prodigium on the Ashe, not able to get in there and help out. And, it's just it's an unlucky fight there for ROTM. They just don't have the damage that SADBOIS is able to put out.
Yeah, and Cardinals hit a pretty big ultimate in the middle of that one as well. Just, it's been really well played by SADBOIS to kind of kite in and separate Tendies from the rest of the team, even if they're getting super close to death themselves.
Yeah. So, looking at itemization, Malzahar, second item should be Leandri's, right?
It depends. If you're trying to catch, you go the Rylai's. If you're not, I think it's Leandri's. I'm not really sure. You're probably right, because Leandri's is just so good right now, but
I feel like, why don't you go Glacial Augment on Malzahar. I feel like that would be super good. Super Soaker's cheap, and then it means you can pick up a Leontrys early.
He's
As
going to
we
go ahead and
see.
ult. He didn't get the space
He
aids
does
to
0
bounce to
damage.
Cardinals, though. If he had the
Um,
aids on, he actually gets that kill almost. But, yeah, Tendies is there. They'll clean up the side lanes a little bit.
Yeah, but SADBOIS pushing in this mid lane.
Oh, he actually hits that
Ooh.
knock up over the wall. Last Spartan goes in. He wants that kick. He finds Prodigium. Cockmansuda flies in, and they'll find that kill onto the Ashe. Liposuction lane jumps back in. He'll trade it back onto the Kaisa. This is kind of a mess. This might be an overextension. It's a double kill for Liposuction lane, but DTS does so much damage. It's a double kill for him as they'll jump forward, and that'll be the triple for Azir. Tendy's the last one
Tendy's
alive.
just
He's got
stuck in the bush.
Yeah, he's got the bola on the Firelight. Hits the ward. I don't think he really wants anything. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. He definitely does. He goes in onto Firelight, not able to find that damage, and DTS gets the unofficial quadra kill and another ace for SADBOIS.
DTS just does so much damage. What looked like a massive overextension from SADBOIS straight into the base of ROTM. At the end of the day, they're able to make it work for them. They get the kills, and yeah, this Azir is just so strong. You know, even at the end, able to nearly one-shot Tendies too. Just an absolute monster this game. 15, 4, and 11. Wow, he's recalling here with 3,000 gold. Finishes up the the Ludens rather.
Oh, he
Ends up
buys a
potting
health
up
pot.
as well. I think he brought sorcery.
Isn't he big? He looks big. I guess it's
I
sorcery.
don't think he's big. But either way, he is a big boy. You know, metaphorically or physically, he's
I guess
he's doing pretty well for himself.
Azir's model's just bigger than I thought it was. Not really sure.
Did you zoom in a little bit? You know, in the excitement.
Oh, maybe. Let me see. No,
No.
no.
Who's to say? Is liposuction lane had a few people coming to collapse on him. He's able to back out there, get away just fine. Dragon's coming up soon.
Yeah,
SADBOIS.
represents soul point for either team. So, relatively important dragon coming up, but it's just going to be the tower first. So, kind of by the book. Maximus, I don't know why he's there. That's not a good position for him to be in, and he's going to pay for it.
Yeah, no, he is very dead. That means any sort of
Oh, Tendies almost finds Cockmansuda, gets the flash out. Prodigium trying to play this
Rengar ult,
distance.
though.
Yeah, Rengar ult. He's onto the Ashe. Oh my gosh. Prodigium gets found by last Spartan man. Cardinals on the side as well. They'll try to filter in. Liposuction lane is a tanky boy, but he's not tanky enough to survive this. A good kick onto Cupper Dang. Gets some distance, hits the resonating strike, and they'll finish him off as well. Tendy's the last one alive. Can he hold the line against 4 members of SADBOIS?
Without his ultimate, it's going to be difficult to see if he can actually get on top of someone, but maybe. He's there. He's a strong boy. If anyone gets in a melee range, he can one-shot them.
Maximus is here. Solar Flare doesn't connect. And Firelight trying to zone him back out. Last Spartan man collapses, as does Cardinals onto him. Tendies is still alive and relatively healthy, but now he's not. Last Spartan man finishes him off. They'll kill Maximus as well, and that'll be SADBOIS taking the base and the 3-1 victory in ROTM Fight Night number 1.
Yeah,
So as it
well
turns out-
played, the SADBOIS.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
as it turns out, both captains' predictions correct. It's just going to be a couple more kills. Well, maybe they won't finish. Okay, never mind. They did it. All right. That was a good finish call. Maybe they didn't finish. Oh, no, they killed the base. Yeah, congratulations to SADBOIS. They're going to take home the $75 first prize, and they'll be back in a couple of weeks. Probably, I think every other week feels about right. I don't know for sure, but we're going to find them a new opponent, and we'll see if they can hold on to their title here in a couple weeks' time. For RTM, really strong game number 1, and then really back and forth the other 3 games. So kind of commiserations to them. Do you want to pick a series MVP for me?
Oh god. It feels like it has to be Firelight. Just so much impact in every single game. Didn't matter what champion he was playing, just around the map, able to make so much happen and create these leads for his team. It felt like he was just there in every single map doing so well.
Yeah. So GG's across the board. Really fun series. Really enjoyed casting it. Thank you again to everybody who's tuned in and who follows our channel. We hit 50, so now we're on the path to affiliate. We actually need to stream more. We kind of fell out of that particular criteria. So you'll see some more content here in the coming days and weeks. And yeah, thank you all for tuning in to RTM Fight Night #1. We'll see you back here whenever we get it organized um, in order to find SADBOIS a new opponent and see if they can take him down. So thank you, Aikedo, for joining me today. Appreciated the cast.
Yeah, anytime.
And yeah, I don't really have anything more to say. So thank you again, and we'll see you guys here in whenever we stream again.